All right, man. Mic check, mic check. Morning Masters podcast. Look, I got a special guest, man, Mr. Tommy Archer. How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm here. It's Sunday. I got my run in today. I'm good.
When you say you run, what's that about? What you running for? Or what you running from?
Oh man. I run from my own. I think it's my health. It helps me. I get prescribed to crack Adderall because of my head. So it's already hard to navigate my energy levels. So it's like, it does help, but it does give me a different level. I shouldn't be moving like this at 30, feeling like this. So it gets my joints moving. I don't really do no lifting because I've had injuries in my chest and whatnot, my shoulder and whatnot. So I get nervous about weights, and I ain't never really been big. So it's like, what I'm gonna do? I got to do something to get. So I started running a couple years ago. I stopped, and I'm doing it again this year with a goal. And now my wife's involved. So now the whole family's going. And
you say you never been big, so you never like gained weight? Like
I ain't never hit 160 pounds in my life.
Oh wow. You but I know you said you was on crack, like not real crack, but
yeah, Adderall.
Scrap crack.
Yeah, Adderall.
Yeah.
I don't
try eating oatmeal?
Yeah, I do. Grits. But I also fast too. I have a principled lifestyle that I try to formulate, because I don't think, there's always a term my dad used to say is like, if you eat it, you're just gonna shit it out. So why you eating all that? Why you gorging yourself, right? And I never heard about fasting. And then, how I believe in certain things I've looked into is, your cells need time to, work and do their job, and some of them need to die off, and you need to metabolize stuff. And I don't know, running's a good way to do both of that. And then I do it so much now, like I'm starting day shift tomorrow. I'm gonna get up at 4:30 in the morning and run just so.
Before you go to work?
Yeah. I'm gonna try to do 3 miles in the morning. Try.
And then you're gonna go to work?
Yeah.
Okay.
And at night, it's gonna be a challenge.
I think I figured out why you might have not gained weight. You probably just too active.
Yeah.
Too active.
I can't sit still. That's why I'm always in the yard. Like this weekend, you've seen something. I've done my laundry room. We just bought this house, and it's like, I want to, if I can do it and I got the funds to do it, I'm not hindered by just stirring in a pot. Oh, I'm doing it. That's good. So I got a whole berry in the backyard. We about to do a flower bed, and just staying busy, always moving.
Have you ever wanted to be like 160 pounds or like 180 pounds, like just man weight, I guess?
Oh, see, that's different. Look, being honest with you, my family's big. My father and my mother, my biological parents.
Remember you told me that, yeah.
Now, there is insecurity there. But when I think about even seeing 170, it's like, oh shit, I'm about to be 300. Like the moment I think about being 170, I just see it over rolling to 220. Not to say like anything bad, it's just, I don't want my life to be determined on stress and certain things that just allow weight to just contribute to, hey, I know I'm gonna get older, I know I'm gonna get slower, I know I'm gonna have my moments where I gotta rest and stuff.
Are you fast now? Like you said slow. I know you run, but are you fast? Like are you just?
Well, it depends. I got a bit about that. I did my first 5K when I was 30. I ran 220 miles recorded. And then I did my 5K, all for like 6 mile run is what it was for. And I pulled up, I started late, I got there, I smoked. So I'm smoking still on the way to the 5K. And I got the shorts on, the pants on where you got to unzip, and like, so I didn't put my shoes on, tied up. So now I'm like wasting my time. So I finally get ready. And these old dudes are in like some Run DMC tracksuits. And I come up to him and ask him what the average time was to finish in. And he was like, "What you run a mile in?" And I was like, "My average is like 11, 12 minutes. And he laughed in my face. It was like 60. So I don't think I'm fast. I don't think I'm nothing. Like, I ain't gonna run no 7-minute mile. Hell no. I ain't beat under 10 this year yet. But I'm also
it's just sometimes you talk about playing basketball and stuff. So I wondered if you had like any kind of agility, because you also kind of challenged me a couple times. Like, I want to play. Yeah,
I ain't gonna beat you offensively.
Well, I mean, y'all can beat me. You're gonna stop there.
I'm okay with that. But I can still talk shit though.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll go.
I appreciate that.
If I don't feel like, okay, I don't have fundamental basketballs. So right, so I might fuck up and foul some, but I'm play defense like people should play defense. I feel like especially when you're trying to be a part of a team and give what you can to the team. You know what I'm saying?
Where'd you learn how to play defense at?
In juvie.
So you probably don't play defense like the average person.
Right, that's what I'm saying. And I don't look at it. Yeah, I'm very I'm in your face. A foul
to you is probably more flagrant to me.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Yep. It happens a lot. So then I get in situations like I'm like, I got one guy who I wish I could pay to play you. And if I could I could have a team ready for you if you wanted to put something together. And I'm
a one person. I don't want to play.
Well, then I would pay Pimp to play you. I would play my buddy Pimp, and Pimp can shoot like Steph. And Pimp's old and he ain't gonna move like that, but he ain't gonna play defense. That's where you're gonna get your back buckets no matter what. But when I play with him, he has to let people know. It's just Tommy. He don't know what he's just trying to play. So he like, that's when I'm comfortable. When I have someone that backs me up that understands how I'm playing, I don't get, in that defensive mode where I can just play. And it's like, oh, my bad. I realize I'm wrong. I got to back it up some.
Well, like I said, I had no real which way I wanted this to go. I wanted to just kind of have a conversation and just kind of go from there. I do want to start with that because I know you came before. We spoke when I had Juanito on. And
shout out to Juanito.
He actually brought you out the other day. Shout out to Juanito. He brought you out the other day because he was saying, like, when I make the playlist of all the mental health episodes we're doing, should I start it off with the one we did? Oh. I was like, damn, that makes sense. I didn't think about the time.
I didn't think about that. Yeah.
And so he did bring you up. And I said to say back at that point, you wasn't on camera. You sat right there and you was off camera. Now you're on camera, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like I would I wouldn't do myself a justice or do yourself any justice if I didn't ask you questions about you. So before I get into any of the little knick-knack stuff I want to get into, just tell me a little bit about yourself, like where you from, what's your upbringing like? Obviously you're white, we know that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But like besides that, where you from? Like,
So I grew up, I'm an only child and the families meshed together by stepbrothers at a young age. So to me, we're all family. We don't treat each other like that now, so to speak. They're all near Atlanta. But nonetheless, we come from the outskirts of Athens. We lived on a farm that was bordered to University Agriculture Department, which was like maybe, I don't know, at that point, maybe 30 acres. We had like 15. We raised emus, corn, beans.
What you mean emus? What does that mean?
Emus is the American version of an ostrich. And you kill it for the meat and whatnot and so forth.
So y'all farmed?
Well, yeah, for the most part. I mean, yeah, but then we also, like, at 10 years old, I was picking up dead chickens out of chicken houses. And we was...
Why? I guess I'm trying to... I don't know this stuff.
Why?
I'm trying to figure out
what's for money. Money. Back then it was money because I'm second youngest in that household. I have a brother up here that's in jail right now, but that's another story. But so I have technically 6 brothers altogether, but 5 down there in Athens.
Okay,
and
hold on.
And Jesus. Just one woman.
Hold on. Okay. All right, I'm trying to. All right, so could you start off by saying you was the only child, and then you
technically
you added on siblings?
Well, I don't know if you're gonna use the weight stuff. So like my parents are my biological father, which has my brother up here, and then my mother married my stepdad when I was like 2 or 3, and then he had 4 boys, and I'm the youngest at that point.
Okay, so you're skipping steps. So
okay.
So your mother's only child.
Right. Technically, yes. Yeah.
All right.
She has
children.
more children.
Your dad has another son.
Yeah.
So he has 2 sons.
No, he has 1. My mother had another son with my stepdad. So I have 2 half brothers and 4 stepbrothers.
I'm trying to get my math right. Okay. Your biological dad
has 1 or 2 kids, me and my brother.
That's what I can.
Oh, I said 2. Yeah,
fucking come on, man.
My math is off.
Hey, look, man.
Terrence Howard got me fucked up. He got me looking at shit all different.
Okay, so let's get this right. Your dad, your biological dad, rather, I'm sorry, has 2 sons, you included.
Yeah.
Okay. Your mom has 1 son.
2 sons.
2 sons. Okay. You and someone.
My younger brother down there. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So between your mom and your biological mom and your biological dad, there's 3 of y'all.
Yes, technically.
Okay. My math was good.
Yeah.
Then your mom marries another guy.
Yep.
He has 4.
Yep.
Kids. I'm going to say kids. I ain't even going to say son, just
Before
kids.
The other 2, yes. They're younger than me. Both of those are younger than me. So,
but he got 4.
Yeah, he got 4.
So that makes 7. That's where the 7 comes from.
That's where the 7 comes from.
Now we going somewhere. Okay.
Yeah,
now it makes sense now. Okay.
But now to me, I looked at it like I said to my brothers from the jump is because it was 3. I have 2 6-month older than me, twin brothers. That's a little weird to say just because they're stepbrothers, right? But we would all be in the chicken houses together doing this at 10 because we getting hand-me-downs from 2 older brothers. There's always a hand-me-down system and all riding in one. Bro, I remember we used to ride no seats all the way to Athens to my mom to pick her up from work, full of trash and 5 boys at this point, and no seats in the back, just to take trash off from the farm. So it's like that type of. So when we got there and you got $20, you gonna go buy some candy. You ain't even gonna think about clothes. The older we got, it was for money.
So, but it's safe to say you country then.
Speaking, beyond right? Country.
So, did you go to?
Not anymore.
Did you go to school?
Yeah.
I don't know. You hesitated. That's not a confident yeah. Like
Uh,
when I say school, I'm talking
yeah.
about like in a sense of like when you went to school, did you realize like whatever lifestyle you was living was different than maybe other kids? I guess that's why I'm asking that question.
Oh yeah. Well, so how do you say this lightly? The county I'm from was like you had poor people, and then the county was rich. You know what I'm saying? Like you have the outskirts farms, then the people. Some of them made money and had one kid, and were profitable farms. But we talking about, the only time the tractor got pulled out was to till the ground, and then when it was time to pick shit, the kids was out there picking it. You know what I'm saying? Type of thing. You was getting paid $20 or $15 to fill a whole 5-gallon bucket up for beans. You know what I'm saying? Or shit like that. So it was a lot of bribery of getting stuff out more than it was. When you went to school, you saw the North Face and all
Where is
that.
this at? I'm sorry. Where in Georgia is this at
Right next to Athens. It's Clark County is next to Oconee. It's Oconee County is a small, rich community.
How I spell it? Is it OCO?
You know where if you go to I-20 towards Atlanta, you ever been there?
Yeah, I know.
You know where the Greensboro exit is?
Yeah.
So Greensboro is like
143, I believe.
Yep. And I used to work there in those plantations. It's called Reynolds Plantation. This is the upscale idea of what Oconee, I feel like, was always trying to, because you got the Oconee County Lake that you pass over. And that is you know what I'm saying? It's that county country bullshit. Yeah.
I thought about going to that lake. Is that lake cool? Is it a cool lake to
I don't
go
know.
to?
I don't go to the lakes like that. I don't even try to go to Clark's Hill up here.
Why
not?
You got a fear of something at the lakes? You don't like water? You black on the
Nah.
inside?
So I mean, I will, but like now I'm older. I done had, you done like up here. I moved up here when I was trying to build a relationship with my father at one point, and they had blue holes, and like lakes in general. Where I come from creeks and little ponds, and like stagnant water, you get a lot of ringworms and shit. You can get infected from your cuts or whatever. But up here, they get ringworms every time if you don't take no shower, and it's not a lake; it's a blue hole. So after doing all these nasty, swimming growing up, I'm good. I know what goes on and what goes into some of these lakes. I'm all right. I'd rather go to the ocean.
Yeah, ever go to the lake and just like not go in the water? That's what we
Yeah,
do.
all the time. Yeah, we did it for Mother's Day. We did it. Took baby little man out there, and he
You didn't
loved
get no
it.
ringworms then, did you?
I put my feet now, but I washed when I got home. I washed right away.
You gotta stay away from the water. Just look at it. It's beautiful. You just don't touch it. It's dirty. First of all, it looks filthy. Most
It's like
times.
the cracker in me. This is the cracker in me. Listen to me. I go as far as I can at the ocean. When I get to the ocean, I've never been in a boat out in the ocean, and I probably won't. Never been on a cruise. I don't know how I feel about that. But when I get to the beach, even as far as back I remember, I got to test the waters. So I'll go as far as I can and then go a little further and then fucking struggle getting back just for like the risk of how far can I go. Am I willing to risk myself?
How would you compare that to your actual life? Is it the same thing in life or just water?
I don't know if this ain't therapy right now, but I probably would say it has something to do with it. Yeah. I don't know how I could answer it and like break it down easy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have I ain't gonna say I have an adrenaline, but I've been in an all black bike club and I just explore. I like what I like. I like to go try and do what I want to do. And if that's what I feel like I need to go do in the moment, and I enjoy it. And plus, I do think it's my humor, like how I'm laughing at life.
Yeah.
Because I'm risking that moment. And like, you see the little dark humor segment I did with you. I love watching people get fucked up. So some of the things like I laugh at myself that I've done to myself and gotten hurt. You can't really cry when you put yourself in some of these positions.
So like just back to your childhood, so to speak. Like, what was it like growing up with so many siblings? Like, how was that household like? Like, did you get attention? Was it a fight for attention? Did you care about attention? Was that even a thing at the time? A theme of the household? Like, what is that like when you're growing up and doing all those things? Also, like all of that work. That's like grown man work. Y'all are doing at 10 years old.
Well, I think more the work was to keep us occupied. My mother worked, my father didn't work. He worked on cars at the house, and he would, do stuff and like fix stuff for the farm and whatnot. I kept fed all the animals or whatever. It wasn't like a producing farm more than it was. We lived there for free pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Like rent-free type of work.
10 years old, you're going to do that, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think it was kind of in those terms too for mom and dad type of stuff. And
Oh, okay. So you're saying, your mom and dad, y'all lived there rent-free. Like,
I think there was very low, low wages involved.
Gotcha.
Situation of 6 boys. And like, I don't know if he was actually, my dad knew him. And that was he called him Papa Gene. So like we all called him Papa Gene, but I don't think they were actually blood related because when he died, the sister got it and we was booted. You know what I mean? Type of shit. But growing up in it, it's hard to say. I don't remember. I had an episode on my podcast where I was trying to think back the farthest memory I could kind of think that was fair,
Mm-hmm.
or like a lot of that I was in juvie. You know, I remember doing some of the work and everything, but we were always fighting. It's always, you know, I don't know how to answer the attention thing, because it's like I had a father that I wanted there that wasn't there. I didn't meet my biological until I was 13. So I'd already been to juvie before. I think my first time was 11. So I think that like 2 years I remember. And it's really like just the work and stuff I remember, the riding the bikes through the country and trying to get out the house and be entertained. And, you know, I remember getting ran over by a go-kart. That's what type of shit I'm talking about. Like,
how old were you during this happened?
Around 8 or 9, before juvie. That's what I'm saying. Like trying to think back of like a time before I could remember me tormenting the house and going through my shit. Like,
but why? Like at 11, like what? I don't know if you want to talk about it or not, but if you don't, let me know. But like what reasons would you have to be in juvie if y'all was so busy on the farm doing stuff?
well, so I think that when my mom and my dad got married, it was very clear that I wanted siblings. And then I think when it all meshed together and everything fell and came to play, it changed in a sense because, all right, so like looking back on it, all my brothers know how to fix cars. I can maintain a car. I'm grateful for the things I've learned and picked up on, but I didn't pick up on these things the same way. All my brothers can play the guitar, just like my stepdad, my dad. All of them have certain attributes that I wanted to do at a young age. I always got frustrated with. Even going from, I don't believe that my mom and I had the struggle that he had with 4 boys when, you know, they got married. So it's like,
so I'm sorry, but would you say is are you trying to say that you and your mom probably are better off alone?
No. I think I'm grateful for what I've learned from that man, because it's probably the most calmest, kind-hearted. Like he still has his own personality, but he ain't gonna flip out on nobody. He's gonna learn how to be this zen. You know what I mean? And he has his moments, but overall, he's a great man. You know what I mean? And I learned a lot from him. But looking back at it, I can see my envy building, and I think that stemmed a lot. But it takes a long time to realize all this stuff. You know, in the moment when you're fighting with boys and ain't nobody trying to say you right, and next thing you know, you just want somebody to defend you, and your daddy ain't been there, and they throwing it in your face or what, you know, whatever. I can't remember what causes me to go, but I remember the first thing that got me sent was accidentally hitting my mama. That got me sent the first time. And I went to a program called the Outdoor Therapeutic Program. After I went to, you go through like, back then you would go to Gainesville, RYDC. And I went there for, I think, a month, and then I went to that program. So it's different for me, I feel like, with how
long was the program?
Well, you could get out in 6 months. All right. So it was I'll say this, be honest. If she really wanted to put me in jail for it, she should have, because I think it would have changed things too. But I enjoyed the process of it. I served the whole year. The longest you can stay in the program is a year to the date. And that's what I did. It was from March 15th to March 15th.
Why you did a year instead of 6 months?
Couldn't achieve the goals. Right. So it's like, imagine like you're in a tribe and you can, like we used to only could talk like this. And you're sitting around a campfire on logs. Everything's outside. But in that year, we had built other camps and other building structures for other people with trees and digging holes, and like the punishments of getting out when you would do shit. Like I spent weeks getting pulled out to bed to dig up pine trees. And if you don't know pine trees, they go down. They don't go out. And so I don't know, like it wasn't anything different than what I'd been dealing with as a kid, like work-wise. But yeah, it was an experience. But it was also one of those white privilege things where it's like you served, if you earned the reward or done what you were supposed to do through these levels, you had 3 levels to graduate, you would earn certain achievements. Like when I got to level 2, 8 months in, I got to kayak, I don't know how many miles it was, but it was 3/4 of the Altamaha River. So that was a cool experience I got out of it, but it didn't change nothing. I still went to the next boot camp and the next place.
Yeah.
So, but I learned stuff throughout life that I wouldn't change by how I was brought up. But I wouldn't say I had the same bringing up my brothers had, is what I'm trying to get at. Mine was different. And they had their own too.
Well, did they go to juvie?
Well, see, I served majority, if the scales are what the scales are. We all been to jail and we've all done our mess ups and mistakes. But majority of mine happened in juvie. Some of my brothers have made choices as an adult that have.
Yeah, but did they go to juvie though?
Yeah, we did. Some of us at times were all in Gainesville at the same time. They had to separate us because
Oh wow.
last names. We in there. It's like, oh shit, what you done did? You got pissed off at him or what? And they, yeah.
But see, a lot of times I look at that too. Like that's a pipeline sometimes. Even when you get older, like you get older, you incarcerated. You like, okay, oh, I know such and such. Let me go holler at something. It's not to me. Because I've never been in jail. Of course, that's like uncommon. Like if I go to jail, I'm not gonna know nobody. I feel like that.
You say that, but I promise you right now, if something were to happen and you had to go, and you just was, it's all about being respectful, and especially you probably ain't going for nothing serious no ways. But let's say a small infraction. People know you though, and you probably would get respect. I mean, not that like, but you ain't gonna like me. I don't present myself.
I'm just talking about in the sense that I'm just talking about in the sense like if I saw somebody, I would see them, say I know them, but see how when you get older and you've been doing this since in juvie, you probably like, yo, what up?
No, I didn't. No, because I never went to the same place.
You say y'all was all in Gainesville together.
Well, we were. So yeah, I get what your reference is. Yeah,
I'm just saying like it's like when I say pipeline, I'm thinking about like when you start at one age, so you start doing something here. By the time you get this age, it's kind of like it's common to see somebody you know. That's all I'm saying.
For them, there was. I know they went through more of that pipeline than I did.
Okay.
I think in Gainesville, it's still the Atlanta, Gwinnett area. I don't really. That's the crazy thing too. I've thought about that too. I've thought about people that I've been in some that have like hit me home, like some of the places I went to, some of the people I remember, and I don't really ever remember I can't remember their names to pinpoint, just memories. There's only one person that happened that I knew that died in a situation at that camp, and that's the only person that I know by name. And that's Travis Parker. Shout out. Well, he can't shout at him, but shout out his family. But they went to the other extreme. My brothers have seen a lot more. Like I got my little brother I told you right now that's in Edgefield. He made a mistake and he's accountable for it. And I can only prepare him as much as I could because this man was supposed to be the golden child. And he made a choice that don't make him bad at all. But now you sitting here being accountable, you got to know what you're walking into. You can't just think you can go in here with an ego and expect just to be respected. So I don't know. I think me and my brothers dealt with life differently.
Went to so you say you went 11. So you had the course the year. So then you come out, you 12 and a half, something like that, right?
Yeah.
But then what's the rest? Give me break down the rest of your time. From 11 to I don't know 18. Like
so I try to talk to my mom about it. My mom doesn't like to talk about it. And it's a hard thing to accept now as a parent. It's like when I look back on how I acted and how I was responding to things and being disrespectful and fighting at school and doing these I don't remember certain time frames in between. All I know is that I would get out for a couple months and then I would have another outburst or some, manic episode is what they would call it. But really it's just me angry being a cracker, and not handling my emotions. For real. It's generic. I ain't got my daddy. I don't know how to deal with my emotions. And I think in some sense, I needed some more direction. And I think that's what stemmed me in life to always look at men differently and try to navigate towards men that hold themselves for certain aspects I'm trying to learn and not just keep myself one-minded of what a man's supposed to be. You know what I mean? And it's helped me, but it hurt me back then because I didn't know what I was supposed to be.
So you said you met your dad at 13.
Yeah, through his girlfriend calling me on the phone just to get somebody to give me the phone. Yeah.
Okay. Did that help or hurt you? Because I know you said you wanted a dad in your life, wanted a man in your life. Now you met your dad. So now how's that like?
Well, I think it was good. I know who he is. You know what I'm saying? I can see he's going to be who he's going to be, right? And that's throughout the whole observation of what I know of him standing now. I felt like back then, I got the opportunity to make money. So I went to come work. And I was he was contracting through DirecTV. So it was easy work, but I was—
How old were you?
13. Okay. I went that summer. He was trying to get me for the summer to try and gravitate me out of juvie, right? So I think that is probably the longest time I stayed out was when I was up here in the summer. And then when I would go—
He was in Augusta.
Yeah, I lived off Fenwick Street over there by where J. Paul.
I mean, pulling you out of one thing and putting you in another thing is kind of crazy. Because that's still, that area is still like—
There was this little short family. I don't even know if they're midgets, but the whole family was them. Three white, I call them, Lord of the Ring characters. But like the dude had the cane and everything, old guy, and the mama was real old too with, I like to joke on handicapped people. I know that's your platform, but she was handicapped. And I don't want to say like crippled, but but the little boy was little too, and he was my age, and he went to Richmond or whatever that school is right
Richmond.
there. So I didn't have no. I mean, he was gonna get got for me, so I could run. I wasn't scared to. And then I'd already been to juvie and stuff, so none of these environments, I didn't mind going to a house and doing some work and being respectful, but it wasn't all what it panned out to be. But like I got washed. They say what's the term now? Washed up. I got washed up in a washing machine for real. That ain't no terminology. So, I mean, it's shit like that. How you go from that?
Yeah. So you come down here. What's the relationship like with you and your dad? Like, do y'all get close at all? Is it not?
That's
close?
what I mean. It was work based, and then it became, you see in true colors, and I'm getting put in the washing machine. Like that's to the
What, I can't because I'm using too many analogies for me.
That ain't an analogy. It's not an analogy.
So is he physically putting you in the washing machine?
Yeah, I physically got put in one of them double stacks, whatnot, whatever it is up top, washing machine or whatever. Yeah, I got put inside. Pretty much put inside of it.
For what?
Being disrespectful.
Oh, so he like beat you up and then put you in the machine?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like
okay.
it's
so abuse. That's all. Just
well, I mean, okay. How do you look at that though? As a father, right? Let's say you had a son that you were trying to help. I look at it honestly, and I try to judge my relationship because I don't have a relationship with him. And I'm okay with that. I've moved past mine. I'm not going to let it hold me back. I try not to. That's why I work on myself. But when you look back at it, some of it's deserved because you also getting somebody you think you can control. But I've also done these things that you never know what I went through or how brave I am.
Right.
Or how much my brothers have whipped my ass so I can take a lick. And like, so you think you're doing something. And all you is just making me buck up even more. So all I did was push a bear that was ready to fucking eat something. And that's most of those scenarios. Until I got brave enough to put my hands back on him, that changed everything. But that's another story. But yeah, it was a give and take. I'll take you to Six Flags. It was like one of those things where that's the father that wants to fill the void, but don't want to be the father. Is what it felt like.
Well, I would imagine us, you said imagine I had a son, right? But let's say I imagine I do have a son and I meet him, he's 13 years old and he's been a juvenile. Yeah, that's a little different because I'm like, damn, I'm a feel away maybe. Just like you said, he didn't know or he doesn't know what you've been through and stuff like that. He also don't know what you've been through, So it's
see, that's where when you we ask that question. If you're asking me that question, I'm asking it with you. I know what he's been through because I can get stories from what my mom has said, and and then you looking back at both the stories. It ain't for me to say who's right or who's wrong or what happened or what he did to you or what she did to you. Motherfucker, you wasn't there. For 13 years, you wasn't there.
Oh, he knew about you though.
Oh yeah.
Okay, well,
they were together. Yeah, the physical.
Things, yeah.
That's when my mom left and all. But I wasn't scared of him. I was even in the beginning. Maybe I was in the sense of the moments of like figuring out what I was dealing with as a child. But I was willing to deal with a lot to try and see how I was going to have that bond.
I had a conversation with somebody the other day, and I was telling them that's why details matter sometimes, because sometimes we'll say a story, but leave little parts out, and then that one little part can change the whole perspective of the story. So I didn't know he even knew about you. I'm thinking that y'all just kind of connected 13 years later.
Oh,
so
no.
he knew he just wasn't in your life for 13 years.
Yeah.
A little different, yeah.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know.
How long? So did you come back to? You went back to?
Yeah, I came back for the school year, and then after that, I think we were starting high school, and then I failed the 9th grade down here. Down there. If this makes any sense, it's gonna be complicated. We ain't got to go into it. Different credit systems. So when I come back up here, I'm in 10th grade, but technically I'm in my second 9th grade year. If that makes sense.
It makes sense. Yeah. Augusta's easier. I know.
Well, Georgia, just South Carolina. There's the credit system. I wasn't smart no ways. I wasn't going to pass again, probably down there. I think Georgia's harder for me, for real. But
Georgia's hard, and there's probably some problems because this is probably the easiest school system I've ever seen in my life. It's super easy.
So is the GED. That's what I got. I'm okay with it though.
Hey, listen, man. I think you learning stuff book-wise and learning stuff nature-wise, street-wise, and just through life is all different too, because you might be life smarter than a lot of people. You might not be book smart than a lot of people. Maybe I don't know.
People say that, and
it's all different walks of learning.
Yeah, I forget. I'm trying to gather what we was talking about a minute ago. I'm sorry. I don't mind being classified with the GED because I think that is one of the reasons why I titled one of my episodes GED Thoughts, is because I think that even though I have a GED, I've accomplished a lot, and I think that if you have goals. It doesn't matter necessarily about what piece of paper you got on the wall. If it fills your ego and it's achievements for you, I think it's important.
Well, you make a good point when you say that, because even I think that's like a double entendre when you say GED thoughts, because yeah, you have a GED, yeah, you have thoughts, right? But those thoughts aren't all GED intuitive. It's from life, it's from your experiences. You might be a doctor's in experiences. you know what I'm saying? Like, depending on what kind of life you've had and what you learned from your lessons, you could have a bachelor's in something else. You know, you could have an associate's in this. I wouldn't just put it on GED. So I do like that concept, because it's gonna be things you talk about where they're like, hold up, ain't no way he just got a GED, because of what you're gonna say, you know, how you view it, how you break certain things down. So I like that. I just like that idea. I like that you say that.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
What was we saying about this stuff with my dad beforehand? I forget.
Well, I really was trying to figure out, like, I'm trying to figure out, just because I know I'm privy to some information. I know that you spent a lot of time in juvie. I'm trying to get a good
so I got a
timeline of, like, you being out, being in, being out,
I think
why,
that,
when, you know.
I went to another boot camp after the first one. Before
what age?
It was before 13. Between when I got out at 12 years old to 13, it was like a 6-month thing, and I got kicked out the first week, and they sent me back to Gainesville, and I just done like 3 months for a sentence or whatnot. Then came back home, and then I think it was after I came back and I was down with my mom, I got sent somewhere. No. See, this is where I'm wrong at. See, this is where my time messes up. I might have went the following summer, because I come up, Augusta's my last pit stop. I wound up in Augusta, YDC for 6 months is what I served. 6 or 9 months is one of them.
Right, Danny?
Mm-hmm. And majority of that time I spent solitary. So that was a hard experience. That's what taught me my big lessons in life.
So, and I know you do your own podcast. I know you do podcast stuff, right? And if you don't want to talk, just tell me to say, I don't want to know. I'm cool. I respect it. But when you say that, me on this side, I have to be like, okay, well, why? Because it's not, you wasn't just solitary because you was white, you know?
Oh, well, I'll tell you why. But so there's one thing I view, that there are a lot of, we could talk about it. We could do it.
Yeah.
So I come from the country where the N word was thrown around with the A. And now going through all these experiences, going through all these places, it wasn't, that terminology wasn't as present, right? People would say it, but it wasn't like used in the sense of where I'm at now. And when I say this,
when you say people, you mean white people?
No. When I say in the other places, people, I mean in general.
Okay.
Those environments of incarcerations prior it was majority white, but it's still, you had one black kid here. You know, it wasn't like you had.
But if you got majority white, they say it. That black
they
person
saying it
not
with an A,
nothing.
Right? They're not gonna say nothing, right? It's not a. There's no.
Well, they outnumbered.
Right. That's type of scenario that's going on.
Okay.
But now in Augusta, let me be clear, it's population pods. So you're not in a cell unless you go to solitary. You in a room, bunked up, bed on the ground or whatnot.
Super foreign to me.
Well,
wow, I'm imagining now.
Yeah, so I mean, and I was wrong. I admit this, you know, and I don't mind telling the story. I try to make joke about
Pass
it.
me that. Why you tell that story? I want to drink some tea while you tell me some of this.
You ain't pulling Jared from Subway on me, motherfucker. Hell no. Look, I pulled that joke the other day from Pete, and it was good, but I don't like Subway because of that man no more. No, I love their fucking.
I forgot it was Subway. I didn't even think about that.
But nonetheless, no, I'm in a defensive situation. It pops off in like a weekend. There's not necessarily a riot. I forget what started it, or like the situation itself in the pod at night. We're going to bed. Let me set the tone. We're going to bed, and something's
start from the
off.
top. Tell me the story from the top. Yeah.
Well, this is like maybe
take one.
It's like 2 weeks in, and we're setting up for nights, and I'm still learning routines. I'm not comfortable with anybody yet. I still don't even know my pod members. And in this scenario, white folks are the majority in this pod. Not to say I don't even remember how many were in there. You know what I'm saying?
Just in that pod.
Just in that pod.
Was the majority. Okay.
Wasn't the black folks were the majority, right? Black kids. And something popped off, and the dudes next to me is talking to me and saying, what white dude did. I just responded with, you ain't gonna do nothing. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't say it with the A. You know what I'm saying? And it was just.
You ain't gonna do nothing.
Right.
Okay. I got
so
you.
like because he's doing the same thing. I'm hearing it all. I've heard it before. It's not foreign to me how I'm supposed to say it, but I don't know I'm in reaction mode, you know?
But you're a teenager this time, so your mindset now is not your mindset then. Obviously.
Absolutely.
So,
I
get
learned a
that,
big lesson for this. And because of that solitary, I learned a big lesson.
So no, keep telling me a story. I want to hear
Okay,
the rest
so anyhow, I say the word, and it was not long before he leaped over that bed and leaped on me. I don't know how many guys got to me and whooped my ass, particularly in that right there in this moment. It shifted what.
It's not funny.
Listen, it's okay because I learned my lesson from this, and I think that more white folks deserve to get punched in the mouth to realize where they crossed the line. And I don't ever want to make another person feel like I view them that way at all. You know what I'm saying? So I learned a big lesson.
I feel you.
So nonetheless, I had to take an ass whooping from hell in the moment. Guards, I think one guard particularly heard me say the comment, and that guard got a hold of me at leaving. Like they let it happen and whatever, we finally get guys getting off of me. They pick me up, and then that guard got a hold of me in like the exit entrance of the pod before you go out.
Yeah.
And then solitary, and then when.
Well, okay, so you just got a hold of you. Did he hit you?
He got some good ones.
Things. Okay.
And like he made I don't remember the comments he would make, but like you wrong or something. And it wasn't like like you shouldn't have done that. And I don't know if it was for the crowd or for his own ego or.
Was he black?
Oh yeah, black guy.
For pride.
For pride. And it's okay because I needed to learn what I had come from and the views and aspects of things that country. It was not okay to look at life this way.
This is my first time hearing a story about a person incarcerated. I'm gonna just say, for lack of better words, and hearing that you see it in movies. Like one of my favorite movies is Shawshank Redemption. Don't know why, I just love it.
I remember it.
I love that.
I don't know if I can pinpoint it. I know it's that weird.
People that actually done time don't really watch movies about time like that. It don't, you know what I'm saying? It don't make, just like me, I don't watch a lot of basketball movies. Like I love basketball, but I don't watch a lot of basketball.
Now, what's that one with that fine, man, that was a good one back. Was it It's Love and Basketball?
Oh, yeah. That's not, we don't call that a basketball movie. That's just a movie.
Oh,
that has basketball in it.
Okay. But it's a great movie. It's a great movie.
It's cool. But
it's a good love movie, bro. I'll sit down and watch that with a chick.
A love movie? Bro.
I think so. Girlfriend, boyfriend movie.
Having a game of one-on-one for your heart is not a love movie. Like,
come on now, you love me like that, you better put it on the line.
And then he whooped the ass. Like that was insane. Like
sometimes you gotta learn.
Yeah, that's crazy. Hey, love hurts, right?
I think so, man. I think so. It does.
No, I was gonna say in Shawshank Redemption, you see it, and you see a lot of movies where like guards do allow things to happen, and I always wondered in the back of my mind because I've never been to jail. I'm gonna say that a couple of times.
Yeah.
How true and how just accurate that is. My mom was a CEO
I can't go to jail. I don't want to go to jail now.
years.
I don't want to go to jail now because of that. I don't want to go because I don't want to have to put my principles aside because I'm white. I have it tattooed. I have tattoos on me that clearly don't come from white men. And like my principles are written on me. And it's like, I will definitely be on the wrong side if I go to jail.
Well, yeah. I would just.
Is that what you're getting at?
No, I was going to say it's guards letting stuff happen when they're supposed to protect. That's all I was saying.
No.
Technically speaking, a guard, even if you did say that and you said the N-word, whatever, a guard is still supposed to protect you, technically speaking.
Okay.
Black or white, doesn't matter.
But let me tell you this, though. Now I'll say this. Realizing what happens in Augusta as a child, looking at it back for just not mine, I watched a 17-year-old bust that security door open with his foot, bro, and scatter like gnats throughout the place and seeing people go down and everybody get in trouble for this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to have some sort of leeway to control. You can't, a pod system, you can't control.
But you also hear that a lot in jail. I hear that really the guards don't run prison. The prisoners run prison.
Yeah.
And this is YDC now.
This is YDC. But
also go back to that thing I was talking about pipeline because it starts there.
Yeah.
You guys in that population, y'all know like we run this. They don't run this.
Right.
If you're in and out of jail your whole life, even when you get to real prison, it's the same idea. We run this. You don't run this.
But I never went to prison. I got brothers that did.
I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I never.
But the pipeline I'm talking about, like, just like school is a pipeline to prison.
But it doesn't. It translates right over, and that's one thing. I went to county for graffiti when I was 30 as well. When I was the year I was running.
Well, that's a better crime than other crimes. Like,
it was
lighter,
crazy.
Something lighter.
It's light. Yeah, I would do it again too.
Non-violent.
Yeah, I can't go finish it though now because it's nonetheless.
You never know, man.
Anyhow, this is before my brother who's incarcerated right now went to jail.
I don't know which one you're talking about now.
The one that's up here. There's only one in jail right now currently, and he's in Edgefield. And he's the one that my brother that lives up here.
Okay.
That was from here. But I went to county up here for that at right there next to the YDC. It's over there off Finnissy Swamp. Yeah.
Finnissy Road. Yeah.
Finnissy Road. The swamps is where I take Carolina. Anyhow, my point is that
you like alligators?
Wait till after this. Yes, I do, man. I want to pull into the boat. Anyhow, in juvie, in like Gainesville or any place you go, you have someone that is the leader. They are there, whether it's the longest. They have built that. That's their respect, and you have to navigate by their rules to a degree. You have to, and I look at it as like, okay, I see where his guidelines are of respect. I got to stay within that if I don't want no trouble. And as long as I can learn that, I can navigate. And that's what I try to relate to my brother. And it seems like it's going well, but I don't know prison. But it seems like from my other brothers that have experienced prison, that's what it's like on top of everything that segregates you.
Gotcha.
And that's the part that's different that I'm glad I don't have to go through, or because I'm glad who juvie made me. I don't look, like I said earlier, my mom don't talk about it. She won't talk to me and let me, like I went to therapy for it to try and really work on some stuff. And I have to do a lot of soul things because it's a one-sided trip for me. I don't get no help or no guidance by other people that were involved. They don't want to do it. So it's good that I look at it the way, I'm glad that I'm here.
I'm just curious, like, from your perspective or in your opinion, what do you think helped you not have that pipeline I keep talking about? Because you've never been to prison. Now you've been
Augusta
from 11 to 18,
let's keep going
right?
with Augusta, and I'll keep telling you why. What kept me out was Augusta, because when I went to solitary, I think the first time was like 3 days, right? It wasn't no big thing. You come out, you go to play basketball. Every time I came out was a different punch, not necessarily physical. Every time there was a different label. Every time it hurt worse when I didn't know really what I did wrong to a degree. You know what I'm saying?
So from that first incident, they just kept fucking you up every time they seen you.
Okay, I got hit with a number 2 pencil at one point coming out of solitary. I was just transitioned from coming out a couple days and then something happening and then going back to solitary.
You don't know why. It just stuff was,
looking at it back, I know now.
Just from that one incident.
Yeah, I knew why. That's why.
That's they were standing on business. They weren't playing about that.
And I understood completely after I walked out of that place. And like when I saw that and I knew that kids were in there for, all sorts of charges. You know what I'm saying? I'm only in here for being a ruthless, unruly kid. I ain't really get caught for no drug trafficking or no arm. I never fought with guns. Like I wasn't that type of rebellious.
They living their life for real.
Right. So when you see them controlling this environment.
Second nature.
Yeah. And then so after all this, I come up, this kind of compiles. I did that before my dad or biological father decided to take me in or whatnot. I don't recall if the summer was before or after Augusta. All I know is Augusta made him pull me up here for the school year. And during that school year, he forced me to go back, put DirecTV in the holding facility jail. So I had to run kind of like a Gainesville where it's a county jail for kids is what it is. And then you go to a real YDC. But then that was turning point for me in the sense of it, I think, looking back on it. Because then I never looked at him saying, because I didn't trust him, because I didn't want to go back in there. I didn't want to go and see other people going through what I got out of, and like all that stuff it hit me hard as a kid emotionally.
So if I'm summarizing this right, if I summarize it wrong, let me know. If I'm summarizing it right, kind of your experiences with juvenile was like, and kind of until you got to Augusta and you had that experience where you kept going in solitary and you kept getting hit or they kept trying to fight you or hurt you or whatever. That from that point on, you was like, I don't want to go back to a place like this or similar to this.
That was. I mean, I knew I was still bad, rebellious, and had my ways, but yeah, I knew there was.
You had to figure out a way to hone it to where I can be myself, but I can't come back.
Because that was my line. That was I'm not. Nah, I don't want to go to no place where I got to be in the cell, and you only coming out for the pod. Never. You in that? Then you got to go back. No, I'm good. That like I said, I went to county for 3 days, and that was manageable. I couldn't smoke cigarettes. That was the hardest part about it, if I'm honest. But I also didn't have no trouble.
No, it's easier than the YDC thing, though.
Yeah, a lot easier.
How long? Like when you went to sleep, you said they jumped in. How long you think they was hitting you for? How long was the fight?
Oh, I probably got a good 35
seconds, hopefully.
Yeah, maybe a minute. Yeah, like that. I mean, he was a fair, like I'm saying, and this is the thing that tops the turtle for it all. Okay, my mom was upset about the situation, right? And she got GBI involved. I don't know what the terms is, but it's like for whatever. I had to go take a lie detector test, all this stuff about this situation, all because she viewed it as them allowing me this abuse, right? But now I look at it looking back, it's like nothing happened because nothing should have happened. This was my lesson. Mm-hmm. And like when I was able, this was after I got out, you know what I'm saying? Making me go through this still.
Oh, okay. I thought about
that. Yeah, like I done left Augusta and I'm being
okay.
forced to go do this investigation that, look, I was wrong. Just because you know the story and this is what happened, this is what happens. And like, I don't want to go through it. So like, it was just, it was a lot to take in.
Not to cut that off, but and now we're going to kind of go bouncing
I know
stuff,
I'm horrible with some of this stuff. I'm all over the place.
This is great stuff to me. To me, this is great stuff. I'm trying to do something on purpose.
Hey.
But when you think of all the cases and things we hear about now in YDC or in Finney Road, to a lot of us, like just regular people that don't entertain, that haven't been in jail, that just hear about it, it's like, whoa, this is what's happening, right? So people that like has experiences, probably nothing new to you, like to hear us a stabbing here.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, since like that.
This happened. The guards let this happen. The guards did this. To us, it's like, whoa, what the fuck is going on? But to you, it's probably like, oh.
Well, that's like of all my brothers, the youngest down there in Athens is a police officer now. Never done it. He's the only one that stayed a saint. But, you know, he also has terms of autism. I don't see how in the hell he got a badge. But,
come on, man.
Hey, I told him. He gets an ego boost, and we tell him one day, I said, look here, if you think you about to put me in the jail, you better go ahead and tell that detective to sign another death certificate because you're going to die. Of all these people going to put, you think you going to get my respect to put me in handcuffs and put me in jail? You crazy as hell.
You ever seen Four Brothers?
Yep.
And I remind me of right now. They all kind of
that's a good movie.
And then,
well, see, that's the other thing too.
One is a cop.
Yeah, one's a cop. Yeah, unfortunately. And I think I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's too much. I don't know that world.
He might be a good cop.
We'll talk about it off camera. We'll talk about it off camera. I am the black sheep of my family. I can justifiably say I have went my own way and found my own direction in life that I feel like the principles that matter to me and grow my family and break my circles and be a better man. That's what I'm striving for. And if my brothers, like they all live out of state, I don't see them that often. And if I check in, I check in, but I'm not trying to live their life. I ain't trying to do what they on, so it don't hurt me like that. You know, I think all what I went through helped me deal with life being alone and like trying to, you know, okay, you can tackle whatever. There's a phrase, you know, the worst thing you ever been through is the hardest thing you ever went through. Charlemagne says it sometimes, and I forget the phrase, but I agree with that statement. I've been through some hard shit, so running at 3 miles in the morning is just about discipline more than it is.
I got you. That makes sense.
More than it is being hard, you know.
Like some of the things you do that we might deem as tough or hard, you'd have been through worse stuff than that. So that's nothing.
In my perspective, you know, I mean, we've talked about on our mental health episode, I've never lost a family member though like that meant something. So I don't know what to expect there.
I was gonna ask you, you said that meant something to you, right? How many family members do you have that mean something to you?
Ooh,
see, that's
on camera.
You gotta answer that now. I'm just. It's a rhetorical question for the most part, but I'm thinking of everything you're saying because I'm thinking from my aspect of like, okay, well, if I put myself in your shoes, the first time I went, I'd have came home, whole family talking to me, my aunt, my uncle, my grandma, my grandfather, everybody gonna be talking. I had situations where, you know, you get in trouble in school when they all come talk. Well, hey, look, this person come talk, this person come talk. So you might think you're getting all these lectures, but you're getting different versions of love you're getting from somebody. I love you. Hey, don't do this. But I love you. Hey, don't do this.
I got a couple. I know, you know, I'll put it like this. As I feel now, if my biological father died, I'd just go to the funeral just to piss on it. And the real, not as like but that's my acceptance of like, I'm glad you're in the grave. Here's some nutrition and walk away. That's my last gift to you. I'm not going to even put out a fire with it. Like, I just want to give you a little nutrition and walk away. And I hope it drizzle in his eye before he get decomposed. That's not no hatred.
That is rough.
But like, you know, like.
That's rough.
I I don't know how to
But
expect
I gotta
when I'm
respect
ahead.
it. I gotta respect it. I don't know what kind of
Well,
issue I have, but
I got my grandparents and I got an aunt and my mom. Everybody cares for me, but when you look at like what people provide for your life and how they're really supposed to be there for you, I got a lot more people that care. I think that aren't blood related. You know what I'm saying? So I've met so many people that I think that would be more important that they died than my family. If that kind of,
that makes sense.
I don't want to put a number
that
on
makes
it.
sense. That
I don't
makes
want to put a
sense.
number on
But
it. But
also, you probably got friends that you would consider family more than you consider family.
yeah.
And that also plays a part. I totally understand what you're saying when you say it that way, though.
Yeah.
That's why when I cut you off, or I asked, I'm trying to make sure we kind of navigate it a certain way, or we kind of mold it a certain way, because that's the thing. It's family that you got. You probably did not blood, but they family to you because of what you mean to them, what they mean to you, what value they hold in your life.
Yeah.
It's not just, I met this person here. It's deeper than that,
Yeah, because we get them up. Like I say, I mean, there's some of my family. If they died, I wouldn't feel bad. I don't think I would. But now a few of them, I think I'm gonna have a hard time accepting. I don't get to call them, but that's still minimal. I'm okay with that though, just by how I've found to navigate life. But I also think it's a curse. I don't get to have that. I look for attention and love differently, which hinders me. Like, you met me with those questions on all those on my wall, and I have my own little thought process I do with dealing with myself. So it's all on what I feel like each person's dealing with.
Yeah, I feel like even talking to you now, like it makes even me, I appreciate this family and people I know more because of how much I do know they do love me or they do feel about me. You'll feel away because it's a season that you ain't heard from this person.
Yeah.
It's a season. Hey, it could be a span of years for you,
Yeah.
So I got to appreciate the fact that, it's just a season. That's fine.
Yeah.
But 10, 12, 13 years, that's a little different. You know what I'm saying? Or you feeling like, all my life, you really been shit to me.
Well, that's the other thing too, is, I deal with abandonment issues. I can see it now, but I don't know how to explain it in the younger years. But like looking back, I deal with abandonment issues, and I deal with feeling like I'm alone, like solitude issues from juvie. I feel like it stems from juvie, but it still is, I deal with my own shit. So
I want to touch on the solitary a little bit. So being in there, I don't know how long you was in there, like in totality, but like, was there anything you learned being in there? Was there anybody that ever talked to you being in there? I know you, or was it always just when you come out?
Well, solitary for them out there, it was like I said, it was in a population pods. So you go from that to in Gainesville and these places that you're holding are in cells where you have the narrow window wall. In solitary in Augusta, you have a big wall, so you can see everybody, but you can see nobody wants to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? So starting the transition of going in and to where maybe 3/4 of my time being in this, I had built a rapport in basketball, playing my exercise, your 1 hour out. And everybody else, some people become solitary too. And you finally would start getting rapport and talking. And then people started, I had one guy that I told you earlier, I don't remember names well, but he wasn't, I remember him. And he told me what I had done wrong and explained to me how impactful it was in the moment for whatever it was going on that popped off, which wasn't important to me at all, but it started to hit home that I had done something really wrong, and it wasn't just about for one person. It was a cultural thing I had done, and I can't cross this line again.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, I had a CEO looking at how I was trying to reach out to other people and kids, trying to talk about it. And then I learned about Martin Luther King and Gandhi and different, aspects of things.
Before that time, did you know anything about Luther King at all?
You
knew he existed. That's about it.
Maybe for the day because of where we were, because it was as a day, right? But not like, so I'm a fan. I admire Martin Luther King, not because of the controversy, but because in Chicago, when buildings ran out of electricity that had coal attributes to heat the house, he stayed I think multiple hours just shoveling coal, just because whatever community he was there to, it wasn't his community. He was there for something else, I believe.
Right.
But he just took his time out to shovel coal into a building to heat for these families. And then multiple things like that scenarios. We can go on and on, but it's the gesture of a man to go above and beyond when you feel like, okay, I can spare this energy and this time. And the more I learned and listened to different men like that, it starts to change you, starts to navigate things differently. And they help lead that direction for me. So I don't fault what I did or how it all played out for me because it made me into a different man. It molded me different.
You know, I got a saying I like to say, and I've said it on the last episode. I think I said it. Sometimes things got to happen so other things can happen.
Yes.
And if you don't say that, and that don't happen to you, and you don't get this outlook on life, you don't get that different perspective, you don't get that understanding of, hey, this word can cause this, and it's because of this, and this is the reasons why, and these are people that fought for this, that, and third. So you don't get all of that information you got without making that mistake.
Look, I didn't tell you about this one place. I don't even remember when it was. I know it wasn't after Augusta. I was it was a hospital. We did not come outside except for basketball time for 30 minutes a day. And you were in a legit hospital, vertical hospital. And each row was pretty much for behavioral kids. I was in that place for 6 months and I schemed my way out of it. 3 months of it by faking an injury on my appendix and whatnot. And nonetheless, that's here nor there. In that place, we would get punishments every week. You go to a therapist, you sit there, talk about stuff, whatever. But their punishments were different. They couldn't like put you in solitary. They'd make us pick a letter in the dictionary and you'd write the letter. You know what I'm saying? And you would just write every word. And I don't know any of these letters, these words.
These words, you pick a letter.
And you would write.
You got to go through
until
D.
they come get you or however long. And sometimes it would be, if you're bad enough, you're going to write that whole section of D. And until you're done, you ain't leaving this room, right? And there was this dude in there that would do it, but in graffiti style of a city. That makes sense. Lay out however the words are now laid. And he made his fun with his approach at the world. And that was a big factor. Like, there's plenty of words for me to use. Like, so certain things just hit differently at certain times for me that just, when that shit happened in Augusta, it changed my whole perspective on what I was supposed to be looking at the world like. And I never wanted to go back to the country neither. Because then I wanted to experience like, well, I know I'm going to do some crazy shit. But, I wanted to see other cultures. I wanted to see what was different. What am I missing out on? And I just tried to explore.
That's dope though, man. That's I had heard mentioned.
Look, shit.
Put your glasses back on. You got it. I always call glasses the probation. It's like, I feel like people wear glasses to court, they get probation instead of just getting real time.
Yeah, when they wear them,
sometimes
when they're being defended.
I think they think that. I don't know. I don't know the history. You might not have to. I don't know. Then again, I don't know. You might do because
I told off a judge one time. I got more time for that shit. What was it? There was a oh man. There was a song, I heard it in Juvie, and I remember, I'm just having a brain fart now, but it was Fuck the Judge or whatnot, put the middle finger to the judge. It was back when Lil Wayne and Fireman came out. Because that was the first rap song I saw in Gainesville on the TV in the box through the sale, Fireman.
You probably think about Jeezy.
It might have been Jeezy. Yes, Jeezy. Yeah, he said some fuck good judge. So the next time I went to court.
He threw birds at the judge.
Yeah, next time I went to court.
He threw birds at the
judge. That's it. Yeah, Jeezy.
I'm knee deep in the game, so when it's time to read up, I'm knee deep in the cane. Yeah. Jeezy was that man. Yeah.
I didn't put the bird at him, but I definitely said some shit.
Black culture. But all right, so talk about a little bit of life after teenage years, I guess. Like now you're getting older.
Okay, so I moved up here for my job that I currently still have. I don't know how we cut that, but in general, I moved up here for work. And
by yourself? Like,
no, I moved up here with Brian, with my biological father.
Okay.
You took advantage of I'll deal with whatever just to kind of see if I can try something different. The Reynolds Plantation place I was talking about. So before I moved up here, I was trying to do, it's where I learned a lot of my home improvement stuff. I worked with a guy from New York that would travel from Oconee to Reynolds Plantation. And I just didn't like doing it. And I didn't want to go to school. I got up here and I just got my GED and just came up here after teenage years. And I lived with him for the first couple months that I got that job, and shit went sour and I went on my own. After that though, and I had to be responsible, before I had a child, I was drunk, I would say. I look at myself that way. Every paycheck from this job went to beer and partying, chasing pussy and doing what I wanted to do because I knew I could handle whatever because I was wanting to go wherever. You know what I'm saying? And then when I had my child, it changed everything again. I stopped drinking the moment I realized she was mine. And I didn't drink for 3 years. And ever since then, my continued discipline to change these circles that I see causing me headaches, it just transitioned me better and better.
With the exception of drinking, having your child, how did that change you? With the exception of drinking, like what did it change your temper? Did it change your thought process, your decision making? Not just outside of drinking though.
I think at first it changed in the sense of I knew it wasn't just me, and I wasn't about to let me and somebody else fall apart. Um,
I like that.
I have a buddy of mine who I met at this job. I grew a great relationship with. I have an episode with him that will be coming out. Devin Burke, shout out to you, who looked out for me and took me in and my child when I needed to have that moment of help. And that allowed me to buy my first home. And when I say all that is, it was hard to do it by myself and learn how to navigate a child. I have a 1-year-old now, and I still have moments where I question both of those questions. My attitude, my temper, it's just a baby. You know, how do I navigate and learn from this? So it wasn't easy for me, but the girl side versus my 1-year-old now as a boy, it's different. I don't see the same regard to him like I did for her. And now that she's older, I see the entitlement she has, and I don't have the same regard like I think I will for him because I'm going to put him through the ringer. So it's like for her, she changed me, but it didn't. It just like held it off sometimes, I feel like.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, I can still be this way, but she doesn't get this version, or they don't get this version as a family. But this is still, so it's hard to figure all that out still.
Yeah.
I don't know how to answer it any other way
No,
than
you,
that.
you answered it perfectly. I mean, that's the best way to answer it, is the truth. But I was going to ask you, because of your upbringing and with your relationship with your mom, relationship with your biological dad, your stepdad, how much of did those relationships and what you view it as impact the kind of relationship you want to have with your daughter, with your son, with your kids?
It's confusing. That's the best way I can say it, because I have my idea. I have my vision of what I want my kids to know or to be principles, or at least like me and my wife were talking today after our run. I said, do you know how to maintain a car? Right? She goes, yeah, I can. I said, well, why don't you do it? Why do I have to do it? Right? Not to be like rude or nothing, but if my daughter calls me, she needs to know the principles. I done check the tires. It's not the tires. It's not the battery. The oil's fine. The radiator, I don't touch it first because it's hot. You know, she needs the basics of getting out into the world. I don't think that it's been easy trying to pass that on because it's hard looking at what I'm working on and relaying it over. Another thing that's difficult for me is I have a principle of like, it's hard for me to tell you to clean your room when it's so hard for me to clean my room. I'm not going to judge you like that. I'm not going to force that. So those habits kind of bite me in the butt at times, and I have to realize my flaws. So I learn still every day, I feel like, with it. I feel way behind as a parent. I see my wife is so comforting and caring and like patient. I don't have that same regard. It gets me, it's challenging.
When you say that, it brings me back to when I asked you earlier about attention, and that word is like a word
Oh, you
for,
asked me
for
about my
many
parents
things.
too. Yeah. So,
And but I say that to say, you kind of answered it my own question
Okay,
in a
yeah.
sense. I don't know your wife upbringing like that, right? But because of how she is as a parent, I feel like if I guessed it, I might guess it right. I don't know. I might guess it wrong.
what?
Her upbringing, I'm saying. It's
Oh, I mean,
just
you can guess
a
it,
little different
yeah.
than yours. Wasn't as rough, I'm assuming.
I think she had her own trials and tribulations.
Don't we all, though?
But I don't, right? And we all do. I do think she has certain issues that she feels she needs to protect because of her own stuff, like we all do. But yes, it's very distinctive. How do you tell somebody to believe it's hard to put somebody in your shoes too. So that's a challenge I have to deal with. Shout out to Lou Life. I had to tell you before the pod, I had an episode with him where we talk about tones. If I get frustrated trying to explain something that isn't getting relayed, it can work up my own head. It ain't even about the person. It's just me getting frustrated with myself because I can't correlate what I'm trying to get across. And that can stir pot. And then not just my wife, it's done it multiple times in my life. You know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, they taking me wrong and then we're in a spiral. So having that different lifestyle can be important. And I think it's good for me because it checks like, oh, this is me getting upset about something I shouldn't be upset about. If she's like this, why am I getting worked up? So it's good and it's impactful, but it also makes me question parenting. Like my world doesn't seem like it's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like compared to the drastic measures of a real woman in my life showing me how to care and love, it's challenging to narrate in my head. And not to let me say this, and then I know that I'm dealing with my own abandonment stuff as an adult from, like you say, I might have saw my parents last Christmas, last time I saw them. I might have talked to them on the phone in February for my birthday. That's about it. Text message maybe once every other week. Not to blame them, but those accords aren't there. So it's still, you manage that, but still have to give. And then you feel like you're giving enough and it may not be enough. So it's difficult with the attention for me. Because sometimes the ego gets me too, bro. And I be like, I deserve to feel this attention or get this attention.
Yeah, because when I was asking about attention, I really meant not so much, hey Tommy, are you okay? But kinda like,
oh no, I get that all the time.
I'm Black, we think of just the culture I come from. We think of, there's normally white family will say at the table, how was your day? You go down the table, how was your day? How was your day? How was your day?
I don't know that.
Or I'm thinking, you sitting on the steps and maybe you just in the days and a parent, your mom or your stepdad, somebody, hey, you all right? What's going on? You're not acting like yourself. Just a little, that's what I mean by attention. A little detailed question that you ask that the other day, my mom is sick as she going through right now. All the stuff she going through. Came in the house and she was like, what's wrong?
No.
She going through all the stuff she going through right now. She's still able to say something wrong with you though. You know what I'm saying?
I think that it's harder to judge on me. I've said it before when the other episode is, I do feel like you're placed weight on your shoulders for what you're supposed to carry. And I do think that sometimes you have to accept you're going to get overlooked. Not to say I am all the time, but I do think it is my responsibility for a lot more than most on myself, not for someone else to recognize that. Because I know that if I look at it like I expect them to check on me like that, then it affects me differently than other people.
Well, when you're 10, it's not your responsibility, no. That's what I mean. When I was asking when you was younger. Now, as an adult, we as adults, it's like whatever. But it's also one of the things, again, about the pipeline. It's one of the things where it starts young. So since she knew when I was 10 something wrong with me, she know when I'm 30 something wrong with me. You only change but so much to your mom,
Well, I don't know, man. I've come a long way. I don't think my mom knows me in principle sense. I think she knows me as her son still. You know what I'm saying? I think she acknowledges my accomplishments and I think she knows who I'm trying to become. Like she sees my vision, but I don't think she understands, principles and my morals and like why I do what I do. But like this, it took my mother going through the grapevine to find another bike member that was not a Black member, a Black bike club, to confirm the bike club I was in was not going to harm me because she wouldn't believe me for umpteen years. You know what I'm saying? Like, So it's like she never understood who I was developing to be. I think she's proud of the man I'm becoming a parent, but the attention was, like you say, we try to be back. Our attention was go do something. Go out in the yard, go to the chicken houses, make some money if you can. We'll take you to the store later or something, or it wasn't. Nah.
And she more so, I would say it's more like culturally confused because she don't know the culture. She don't know our culture,
Yeah.
Because you had your mishaps, you got to learn the culture.
Yeah.
You got to be around the culture. You got to see, okay, well, if I just do this, and this should be fine. You know what I'm saying? She don't know that culture. They know what they see on TV. You know what I'm saying? Black guy with a hat down, robbing you. That's it.
It's a stereotype. It's crazy as fuck.
I mean, we don't make it no better when we do it, right?
Hey, look, the crazy thing is I know more people connected to a crime that are white in Aiken County than I do Black folks. There's a guy that I used to be good friends with. His wife, brother, ran from the police last year. And nothing got hurt. None of that. You ain't heard nothing else about it. But they had a gun. I don't know if they shot. I don't remember if they shot. But the point is that it's a stereotype, bro. It's gonna be that way.
I mean, that's America. That's just but that's human nature. It's not even just a racist thing. It's human nature, dude.
Well, is it though? Is it though? Because I think if you have the right principles.
Well, we do it all the time. Like even my culture.
Okay. You're not gonna put yourself where you feel threatened. That's one thing about this good that I feel
like. To the mic.
That's one thing that I appreciate that I've been able to go so many places because I'm not going to position myself to go somewhere where I feel threatened. I'm going to either learn more about it, navigate my way into it, and like take baby steps to where I'm not crossing any lines, learning or being wherever I'm at, And I think that's a big thing.
But I would say it's all perspective because we talking race in a sense, right? There's certain rooms that people like me have to walk into if we want to be something. And we're going to feel threatened the minute we walk in that room, but our goal is to take that room over and make them feel threatened by us. So it's all different perspectives.
You say that. I'm going to agree with you. I'm saying corporate too. I don't know. You had an episode on the mental health about the work stuff. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I had a serious situation in a big corporation because of that stuff. Because of race, because of my position on how I felt, stirred the pot even more and got people involved with corporate. And I left that job and quit based on the direction of how they wanted to look at me differently. I had a guy that could see two different ways watching me at work. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
And I had a supervisor come up to me while I was working and tell me how my friends and associates that I work with and hang out with were going to eventually stab me in the back. Well, ain't nobody white, and you white, so that's a straight direct. And you already done made me, he's already a good old boy, right? That's what I call that system y'all were.
That's what it's called.
And in
every facet of life, we call that system the good old boy system.
So yeah. First I like bit my tongue because I knew my friend was coming back. One of my friends was coming back from work and she was going to help me out, which I believe you've met her, Chandra, Bruce Carter's. Shout out to Coach Carter.
Yeah.
Now we got to cut that because she works there still. But nonetheless, I asked advice. How do I handle this? I don't want to lose my job over this. I really want to say something because I don't want to have these comments continually made at me. So I approached him and it became light. And the next thing you know, he's throwing something at me playing. And all right, so we don't need to fuck with each other no more. So when I left the situation, I brought it to the attention of other people. You know what I'm saying? And then it didn't go nowhere. So next thing you know, there's people coming in. Well, if you're working with me and you feel some type of way and you are black, well, I'm going to tell you, you might want to watch out because this is how he's already addressed me. It's not necessarily wrong or labeling him in my mind. I'm filling you in on how he's presented himself to me and how others judge him as well. And here's the example, right? Mm-hmm. Well, he had a situation with them two personally, not including me. He decided to go to corporate. Now, I do think he was on some let's take the corporate advantage route. I ain't gonna lie. But he was valid with how this guy was. And when that happened, I got pulled into corporate for my incident and they didn't like what I had to say. And next thing you know, it's just a whole shift. And it was bird-eyed for months. I wasn't doing that. I quit that job. I'll go work at somewhere where I know it's a little more, you gonna do your job, I'm gonna do my job. You need some help, holler at me. And let's get through this day and let's make it, we ain't gotta fucking die here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I think I get your stance on that. The only thing I would say is, and it's not all the time, only in certain scenarios, certain cases.
Yeah, it is selective, I think.
Pride, I'm saying black pride more so, get in the way of people even doing that. I'm gonna leave the job because of this. Unless you like mental health reasons, whatever, cool. But some people, they'll try to make, I don't heard the same before, like, nah, they ain't gonna let me, they ain't gonna run me out. They gotta make me quit. They gotta fire me.
No.
So sometimes people will like, that's what I'm saying when you was like how, you're not gonna go into an area you feel threatened, but really in our culture, and I'm pretty sure you probably heard of it, in some form or fashion, they thrive. It's a thrive of going to a place where you're supposed to feel threatened at.
Yeah.
And not feeling threatened.
Yeah.
So sometimes you make places you feel threatened home. Like, I'm here, now what?
Yeah.
Because now they scared you. Like, damn, you supposed to be threatened coming in here, but you're not threatened. And you taking shit over, and you doing this, and you exceeding. That's what I be thinking about. I think of black excellence too. So I think of that. Some you go into a space, you're not supposed to take over the space. Really, you should be threatened to be in the space, or you should feel welcome to even step foot in this space, and you take it over. Yeah, well, you just step foot and you take it over.
Where's yours at, motherfucker? Clap it up for you, that dude. You know what I'm saying? You talking about it, you right here. No, there's quite a few men that I know that I admire. I've gotten to know. I got to know Bruce a little bit. I think he's a very admirable guy. He's passionate about what he does and takes on.
Yeah,
I know a couple other. I really applaud how he's built what he's built over there. I want to work with him and get something going with him and try to promote and get this involved. I'll be honest with you. I don't have anything against, we all see color if you don't see it. Dick Gregory said, once you put the glasses on, you can't take them off phrase. That's how I feel sometimes. I'm not going to say I can ever feel what it feels like to be a black guy. But I feel like as a white dude in my household and where I come from, I know more. I feel like I've taken on more cultural and equated it and involved it into my life. Like you were saying about at home in the table. I'm trying to achieve that goal of like, hey, what you do today? I'm getting on day shift. We're establishing these rapports that build healthier homes. And I don't think that enough other cultures soak in that. I think it's left out. I think that black excellence and black culture can give away more than what is just being taken for granted of. for the hip hop and stuff and
And,
so
and
forth.
I don't want to make light of anything you said or make a joke about, even though you are a comedian.
Yeah.
But when you say that, you don't want to say it's like be a black guy. Most people listening right now, if I didn't have with the exception of you saying the N word, of course, if I didn't have like your video here and I just give you a rundown of the story,
Mhm.
I'm gonna just try to summarize it if I can, best I can. Right? Okay. Here's a story. I ain't gonna say Brady Bunch,
Of a little boy from the woods.
but a story of who a boy who's with his mom. His mom gets married. The guy has some kids. The boy feels left out. Goes to juvie a couple times. Meets his dad at 13. Goes in and out of juvenile from behavior issues being bad or whatever the case may be. Has his last stop. It's really, really rough. He finally goes back and lives in Augusta with his dad after all this time. Has a kid, changes life. Me saying this stuff, you don't see white or black yet, but most people gonna see black. They're like, oh,
You think so?
who's this nigga?
Look, when I was
That's just how they gonna say. That's how it's gonna be. Like, who is it? But that's me not saying the details. It's just so when you say that, it's like it's all perspective, or not even perspective, but it's all it's how you look at it. Like you might look at your story one way, might look different. But for me, it's rough. Like I'm a black man. I feel like listening to your story is a little rougher than mine. Now I can make mine rough.
Well, it's perspective though.
It.
It's perspective though. Think about this though, and I say this clearly. I still learned to navigate away from bullies, disrespect. I was able to get away. How much more have you endured as a black man throughout your time? You see what I'm saying? It's like the whole the argument of a woman being pregnant hurts worse than getting kicked in the nuts 1,000 or however many times or whatnot. You have to look at the comparison. You may not got beat up in a couple years, but you may have went through, or someone else may have went through, years of being said something to them and they're emotionally damaged and it's done hindered them in a way they can't get better or they can't see past it or
definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think it's all, like you say, perception. I don't hold my past against me. I'm grateful that I was able to go through it. I look forward to more things that I get to build and grow with people in general. Promote and continue to find a better way of life. Not just cookies and creams, but actual what works for me and what I need. Just like I think every man. And one reason why I admire you, I think that you have a great ability to be a father, to still create what you want to create, to still be I know you don't like talking about work, but manager or whatnot, and do your job and like it's very admirable when I see people really striving to be the best version of themselves. And I appreciate knowing you. I appreciate you having me on here and let me tell this story.
Oh no, definitely, man. Like I said, and we still got a little more time, but when I had the idea of having you on, it's really mainly, and probably the last 30 minutes we were talking about, it's just wanted to see what you were going through a podcasting and kind of trying to build that. But then I thought about it more and kind of said, what I can do? Let me try something new. And this is something totally new. It just happened to work well.
I don't know if it's new. I told you I was gonna get on here with you. I called it.
This is new right here. Like this setting, like what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. Because normally I'm back there, right, my nose down. I'm more detailed, but I wanted to kind of have more of a conversation-based type feel to it. Because you didn't know what you were walking into. You didn't know what I was gonna ask when you came in. You didn't know nothing. You just pulled up.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to show you. Mind you, I've been doing this for a minute now. Like what? 8 years.
Almost a decade.
Almost a decade.
Yeah.
So for me, it's a little different, because my mind's probably gonna move a little different based upon what I've been through with this. So once again, about experience. So technically speaking, you might feel like, okay, maybe you GED, high school diploma in podcasting. I might be, bachelor's, whatever. But because of my experiences, it's easy for me to come here and do this with you like that. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to having to set up, what am I going to do? Be second guessing myself.
Yeah, that's how I be.
Damn, should I do it this way? No, I'm going to turn the light out. Oh, I like that light now. Let's do it. Everything was on a flim frame.
And you make decisions.
That's it,
Yeah.
And then you just go.
Yeah.
And then whenever I put it out, I'm going to put it out. And they going to like it or they going to critique it. I'm going to fix it. I'm back, doing something. Or it don't work, I go back to something else. It's just that simple. And I wanted to kind of get that idea to you, illustrate it, and then we talk about it as well. But I wanted to show you, like, it's just that simple sometimes.
Yeah.
no pressure. We ain't know what we was talking about. We ain't know we getting that deep today. We ain't know what we're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I even do smoke breaks during the podcast. You know,
Hey,
I did my
man.
first podcast with a break. We did a break. You know,
Newport.
like,
If you love them, I like them.
I didn't smoke, by the way.
I do. I love a
yeah.
good Newport.
Yeah,
I wish they'd
definitely.
sponsor me. Do you think YouTube would not allow a cigarette sponsor?
I don't see why not. They allow everything else.
That's what I'm saying. I need it. But so you want to talk about the podcast stuff? I'm cool.
No, we can't. Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. So correlating all this, I'm gonna kind of attach it to what we've been talking about too, because I do have a GED. I've also read Aristotle's Metaphysics. I read it 4 times, but I still understand from that book. And this is crazy. This is the craziest realization that an idea comes from an idea. That's what the understanding of pretty much it is. And that's for 4 times, that complicated stuff to read, it hits an impact. And I say that as seeing what you created and gotten it and be able to see your pipeline allowed mine to start a little further than it could have on my own.
Right.
You allowed me to see like, oh, even if I'm going to do this, I need to observe how to narrate. I need to observe how to, and I still deal with a lot of struggles of that today. I question myself on setup and format, trying to zone in on what, but it also, I feel very confident and sometimes I have to check my ego because it's like, okay, I got this opportunity to present it professionally, but I have to perform professionally.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the most important thing is making sure that you're angling it correctly and what I feel like what you're trying to present in a whole. It's been a struggle. Ultimately, I wanted to do more about fatherhood and have, you never know what father you talk to is going to give you some gems. And that's what I wanted to start it about. It's still what I want to do involved in it. It's hard for me to be funny and play and still narrate that seriousness when, for instance, I had comedian Pudgy on and it'll be coming out. We talked about what went through him outside. That was a hard thing that I wanted to make a more, you in town, let's chop it up. And then how it changed, I realize now it might not have been the best call for production. It might not have been the best call for the best episode. So making calls is still, decisions on what I want to do is still challenging. I still make 15 different intros and exits a week, probably. I'll say this too, I do have to check my envy. Like, for instance, like that, like I was saying earlier, I'm waiting to try and manage my time, manage my budget.
So envy.
Envy, you want something somebody else got, right? And envy.
Like what? Like what?
Like this, like I'm saying like that. Like I want one. I want one,
my
right?
rogue.
But I'm working off what I got, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, I have to check myself like, all right, you got baby steps. You need to still work here. You still need to keep, we got these moves we gonna make, so let's hold off. So I'm always making these, I have that board. You saw the boards in my house. I'm always writing down different layouts and formats.
I'll give you a story. I do want to say this because, and I don't mind if somebody skip steps and do certain things. It's to each his own. But I know for me, all right, when I bought my mixer in 2016 at some point, and I still got that mixer. It messed up. But I didn't buy this until 2023. Mm-hmm. And it's because I got a bonus and I just had thousands of dollars. So I was like, let me just get it, right? And I never really wanted one because I knew how to use a mixer. I knew how to use it. So, but me know how to use a mixer helped me. This makes this 1,000 times easier. So I can do certain things while I'm doing it and no problem because a mixer is hard to use. You got to know what each word means, like how to put the bass in, how to put the quality, how to put the pitch in, like how to make your voice a little deeper or not, depending on what it is, how to take the hissing out. It's all the stuff you got to learn with all these buttons on it, right?
Yeah.
So I say it to say, that was easier, of course. This is one of the best investments I had. But it takes time. It's not something I could just do. I had to learn. You got to walk before you can crawl.
Yeah.
A lot of times people skipping in. They come in, they buying these how to podcast, equipment things, which is cool. Nothing wrong with it. But it's just easy. And what happens is, even losing sight of that, sometimes you lose sight of the performance part.
Right.
Yep. They go hand in hand together.
Mm-hmm.
Like the more I got better on that, the more I got better on this as well.
Yeah.
But honestly, you could be the best on this. If that ain't right, it's gonna sound horrible regardless. So it's
see,
just
that's
not
the good
stuff.
thing too, though, is I think that a lot of people are. I don't know. I haven't tested out the iPhone speaker microphones and those little connecting Bluetooth or whatever. But what I have is very simple. But it only limits you to audio. I can take out all these different extras like you're describing on a mixer. I can do it with just a link up of a stereo mix and got 4 options, and I can. But I can't do soundboard. I can't do, you know what I'm saying? So like you're saying, it does, that intermissions, it's time for me to wait. That's why I know I need to hold back and still learning this because it's like, it's ego driving me to want the soundboard.
I think I was fortunate enough to come into podcasting when it was solely just that. It was solely just audio. Us talking. You could be in pajamas, whatever. Nobody knows. You could sound like you Clark Kent. Nobody knows. Like it just was audio, and you had to use the audio to visualize. So I had to start painting pictures with words first before I could do all this color coding stuff. This is cool. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love it. It just definitely changed the game. But you know how hard it is to make somebody really want to listen to an audio for 2 hours when they can't visually see the person unless you got the picture on the artwork cover or something like that. And I'm like, okay, well, I gotta find out how to paint a picture with these words. And I'm doing stuff myself. I'm adding music to it. Like I'm pausing it to add music, to stop pausing it, and like making it go together to edit it. So it's so much stuff you're doing in that realm that when it gets to this, it's like, this is easy. I could do this. You know what I'm saying? Now you had to learn. I just had to learn to how to talk to the camera.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm gonna look at the camera and talk to them. You learn over time, so it's cool. But at first it was like, oh, camera's on me. This is kind of crazy.
Shit. I ain't gonna lie. I listen to it. I'll be at work and I throw the AirPods in because sometimes I have to stop work and go back and rewind just so I can get the picture along with the audio. Not to say don't paint it for me, but I'm so intrigued on what you're saying. I have to go back and oh, did I hear that right while I was working or did I miss something? And I'm trying to, and I say it all the time. I text you and let you know. I always applaud how you narrate it, and I think that's my goal to work on is continue to build the format, even if it's different segments. I'm still trying to narrate those things correctly.
See, that's I think one of the biggest things I like about you is not even the fact you text and say stuff, but it's what it tells. Not what you say is what it tells me. It tells me that you steadily doing your research, you steadily trying to get better and better. Because I feel like you only get better watching others. So I watch other stuff. You got yours. You watch Slim's, watch Brandon's from Sofa Sessions, So I watch and you watch the growth, you know what I'm saying? You see something like, I might text and, hey, do this, you know what I'm saying? Do this. Or I like this. That was dope, you know what I'm saying? Or, I can't do that, but you can get away with that, you know what I'm saying? We could be different, But I like it. And then just the fact you having fun with it, you having fun with it. So then when I hear about the challenges you have, or he said he had a challenge getting this guest on or that person, that I might not go through, but I've been through it. Yeah. So it's dope to navigate y'all through that as well. Like, hey, well, you gotta do this. Or,
well, that's the shout out to Sofa Sessions too, Brandon. And I'll say this: we both try to go after the same guy. And the dude just wants to do it at his van. And not to say I'm not doing it at the van. I'm okay. I'll pass on him. But I don't know if he would. But interesting dude. It is weird how when I don't think I need to go search for people. I think I have enough where I'm navigating certain seasons, like I was saying for mine. But it is difficult trying to figure out timelines and set everything up. Like I said, you got it honed in, but it's a managing process dealing with this.
Well, it's one of them things, like you said, you got to go. So I think in our space, you got to command certain things. So like even a guy in a van, I don't know who this guy you're talking about. Scooby-Doo, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember his name. That's why I just say.
I know for me, if I really, really wanted to do it, I would do it. But 9 times out of 10, you come into my space. Reason why, because I need to feel at home to paint that picture. I need to feel right to paint that picture. Yeah. Like even Brandon's, he do it his certain way to paint that picture. You do yours a certain way to paint that picture. That's what you feel comfortable doing. So you want to be comfortable when you drawing and Did
you see him go to that theater?
Which one?
The
museum?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that one. That was a rough. It was rough. It's not bad rough. It was rough because it's funny because they had, like you were saying earlier about white guys and liking, I guess, dick jokes or whatever. I don't know. You could tell he was doing it, but the other guy wasn't really like, he wasn't really rocking with that.
Well, he's I don't know, man. I never met him. We done a comedy show up there once. And it was, I ain't scared of no spot like that. It's only Count Dracula around the corner, but how he presents himself like the troll under the bridge is how I feel like vibes I get. And not to say it's like a derogatory statement towards him, but it's not what you see around Augusta, and it is unique. And I'm glad that he done that to give that space, that spotlight, if he likes that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it is it was out there, man. But I will say this: shout out to him. I forget his name, Peter, I think it is. He drew that. I do follow him for drawing. He does a lot of drawing aspects. And, I paint and draw some. So he drew that. I watched the transformation of the two-headed dragon from scratch to whatever it is now for his bit. But I do think it's cool how Brandon goes out of his way to find, he done some dude that talked for the most part about the money and the shares. A fat white dude, a chunky white dude, or, he's having a bunch of trouble in life is all I heard. But it was funny. But it was funny as engaging as shit.
Well, I like about Brandon podcast. So the difference between y'all's two that and I like, because you're gonna see it in a person, is Brandon is young, like young,
yeah.
you know. So he's able to do it and have fun. I can't say what he's not learning from it, because I speak to him, but we don't always speak about that when I speak. So I can't say right now, but yours is more so I'm kind of giving you what I've learned in life.
Well, I'm trying to get to,
and still learning in life.
Yeah.
Brandon is just having fun. Like, I want to do this. It's funny stuff. He only care about the serious stuff too much. You can always tell when it's something too serious. He like, yeah, joke. You know, he trying to throw a joke in there. And I like that. It's entertaining to him, like, to do that. And that's just how he is as a person too. You gotta know him to understand like his.
Well, that's what I
his
pull
level.
up. We saw him going to the store the other day, and he's like, "Yo, you know, you want some of these glizzies?" And they was passing out hot dogs. And you know, he's like, "That's my guy right there. It's okay." And I was like, "That's all right. You good, bro? It don't bother me none. I'm on the same page with you. I'll joke."
Nah, he's super dope to watch. Like from when I met him and to see him now, I just like I like to see growth, and he's growing. And he got more growing to do. That's a dope thing. Like his stuff, his content is dope, but I can tell it can get doper, and that's scary to see. Cause like for him to only have, he got more than a year down pat. I'm gonna say a year because I'm officially give him when he met me. That's when he started. I'm gonna say that officially. Okay,
officially.
You know, but from there to now, oh yeah, and then he do a lot of good. Like he's able to spend a lot of time with it because not because he don't have kids and like that, but he don't. You know, so he can spend a lot of time. He can spend a whole day doing that if you want to. It's days we gotta take off.
Yeah,
this day is dedicated to my kids.
Or only
I
get
cannot
2
do
hours
anything.
out of my sleep just to make sure
so
I
you
can
gotta
do
make
something.
it do what it do.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So, but shout out to Brandon. He definitely do a good job, and
It-
shout out to you too. But so I do want to talk about that before we get up at like. So what some struggles you think you having with your? So real quick, anybody that's watching, tell them the name of your podcast where they can find it too.
Palette Podcast with Tommy Archer on YouTube. Y'all find that's the only place it's at.
You post on Facebook sometimes too, though.
Well, yeah, I don't post a full clip. I do clips, and I think that now I'm still trying to figure out. It's a challenge of monetizing time frames of clips of what really is going to be impactful versus all the extra meat. It's kind of like comedy, kind of treating it the same way of using social media like I do my bits. And
one day you need to post from episode 1 up until whatever episode you have to now, just on your
full
Facebook,
episode?
just to have it, because I think sometimes too, like either I'll miss something or sometimes you'll put stuff out and out of sequence too. I don't know if you need to do it appropriately.
It was just
I'm like, how is 9 out before 7? I'm not the show's going on. Like, but you be like, oh, I got to tweak 7. Okay,
I'm trying to figure out how to because I don't have a marketing. I know I'm blunt, so it's like my character and everything's going to show. So how do you do it right? How do you market it? How do you position it to show what's coming but not show too much? How do you? So it's all I've tried to rear back on the social media and try to get right to where I'm working on this next season, which is going to be comedians intermissioned with every podcaster that I know. And I'm going to try to make this be that's my next approach on the social media side is going to come in.
So I know you originally, what you originally wanted, and if things change, it changes. Things change all the time. I know you wanted to have conversations about parenthood.
Yeah.
Is it only with men?
Well, so far it is.
No, but is your idea only with men?
Only because I don't want to have an unreal conversation with a female.
Okay, hold up. I gotta stop you there because I love my females, right? Especially black ones. But what do you mean?
I know plenty of females that will shoot it straight with me and not sugarcoat what a man is, right? Or what their idea of a man is that usually is either above what you think you are or not below. The extreme, you know what I'm saying, or below. You gotta be on the same page to see that man to have the conversation that we might want to have, right? There's only a handful of women I know that I would invite on because I don't want a woman to perceive me as because I say bitch in dialogue that's referred just to you when I'm talking about the pen I ain't found over here. You know, so certain things like that is, you know what I mean? It just,
I like that, but
you get what I'm saying though. I don't need the extra conflict to try to navigate those serious moments.
So yeah,
and vulnerable too. I don't want to feel bad because I'm asking you certain things about a woman's perspective about a man, and it might come off. It might punch too hard, and I might get sensitive. I'm cool. I'd rather deal with that from a dude.
That's funny. I would challenge you to, if you ever get to hone in on those guests to get that particular conversation out of people, to in between every two, throw a woman in there, right? And it's not to have the same conversation, not at all. Because you could talk about motherhood without And
I
that's
have
the
thought
thing.
about this.
You can talk about motherhood without talking about fatherhood.
Yeah.
And the reality of it is, a lot of motherhoods don't have fatherhood in them. If you're just being real, a
Yeah.
good bit, not I don't know statistics, but a good bit. You hear.
I'd
all the
love
time.
to have my baby mama on for that then. God, that'd be a great episode.
That might be dope because you
How do you pull a
laugh,
fake out of
play.
somebody though? Because she gonna want to fake it for the camera, and that ain't gonna be good. I'd be able to say whatever. Now this is, ladies, it's not about abusing her or mistreating her. I'd be able to be honest however I wanted to, because it's just our relationship, and she knows it is not like, and that's how we are. I could say whatever I want about you. I'm not judging you. It's just we didn't work out. But she
you also open a door for her to do the same. So that's why I would
that'd probably be a bad idea.
Exactly.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
So
Damn. No baby mama.
You gotta because you gotta pick your poison.
Well, it's a good conversation because I feel like I
you
believe
learn.
we're kind of in similar situations. I
don't
really
know.
I chose to be a parent. You're not gonna put me
No.
on weekends. I'm going.
Okay.
I'm full time. What you need me to do? All right. If we ain't working out, well, this is what the fuck I'm doing. I'm here for her. You can have your weekends at the beach. I got her. You can take the whole week off. I was present, and it built this rapport. It'd be a good conversation to have with someone that personal. Is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
But
it ain't gotta be
still-
yours, but you think about what you can learn about fatherhood from talking to someone about motherhood. You just mentioned, you having your wife and how
She ain't getting on. She don't want to.
no,
I
not
tried.
her getting on, but you mentioned how great of a mom she is, right?
Yeah.
And how you look at her like, damn, I'm struggling as a parent, but she's doing this easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a lot of women that's like that as well. So you can take the personal out of it. You don't ask your wife, get somebody, hey, I want you to get some podcast. Okay, cool, I love to do that. And they talking about it. And while they talking, it ain't bashing, man. It ain't, none of that stuff. But you also learning like, damn, okay, that's a good approach. Because it might be a different approach than what your wife had, but that approach might work for you.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, you could always learn. That's the thing I think I had to learn too. Like, to not, because, we got our own set of principles, morals, and values, right? You're like, that's not a good, no, don't think like that. The only way they're not a good guess is they weird as hell. Sometimes, if you weird, you're not a good guess at me. Or if I just don't like you, like, personally, I don't like you. But
I just
no.
really think that if we really
Like, I
talk,
learned a lot from you today. Just today alone, talking, I learned a lot. And this wasn't supposed to be, it might have supposed to been fun. I don't know if it was supposed to be yet.
Yeah.
I don't know what my goal was. But I learned a lot more about you and about how even I learned more about black people from you today.
no, you didn't.
No, I'm just saying the fact that, okay,
Young
yeah.
Jeezy reference wasn't that good.
Yeah, the beat up part and then the CEO part, it's like those are black people, but I get they stood for something.
Yeah. Those principles is impactful.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
you learn through people. So through talking to you, I learned something.
I appreciate you letting me come on and talk to. And I'll say this too. The podcasting is even though it didn't turn out like it is, I'm still able to have vulnerable moments where I'm able to put myself out there a little bit and learn. It's just not what I want yet, and I think it takes time learning how to narrate.
It ain't even been 6 months yet.
No. What? I've been recording 6 months. There's not enough out there.
You started you to the public.
To the public, I'm not 6
Yeah.
months in. No, not at all. And technically, if we're honest, I'm only LLC in Palette Productions, and there will be a drop with another one underneath it for the podcast. But that's only 3 months in. So I understand I'm still low, but I don't want a woman to walk in and not see what she's talking. If there's a woman coming, I'm going to suggest them to go look at some of the conversations.
What you mean when you say why?
Okay,
why you keep isolating
because of
women
me. Because it's me. It's like, all right, Coach Carter, his wife, I have no problem bringing Chandra on.
Okay.
Because I know she knows me. I know if I go on a rampage about some emotional thing, she's looking at it objectively still. She's not looking at me trying to get not be able to say it correctly and get, you know what I'm saying? Some women gonna look at me and like, oh man, I don't even know if I want to touch this.
It's the thing though.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't think about, like, even now, I'm not thinking about how you perceiving when this conversation on me, because it's about who watched that.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to get, just like you text me, you might, oh, this, that, and third, da-da-da-da. I like this, but this person said this. That was kind of strange. I'm already knowing you seeing what I'm feeling already. So it don't matter. Like, that person, we use them people to paint pictures.
Yeah.
So it's going to sound egotistical saying this, but it's really all about us, technically speaking.
Technically.
If you do it right, it's about us.
It's supposed to be, yeah.
And if I get the right guest that can speak well or whatever, and if you don't, that just tells me, if I have a mom on, you have a mom on, let's say you have a mom on, y'all talk, boom, boom, boom. You sounding good, she ain't sounding too good. You're like, damn, she ain't sounding good. I shouldn't have picked her. No, when them guests watch it and your audience watch it, they're gonna say, "Yo, I don't think she that great of a mom. Her answer was kind of shitty."
Yeah.
Okay, that's the picture that she painted. Helped you paint.
That is one good thing. I try not to be a judgmental, even when I record. Like I had a tough episode I narrated. I'm still going to edit it and make the best episode I can.
Those be the best ones to put out.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you right
even
now.
though I may not be satisfied.
If you second guess it, 9 times out of 10 you want to put it out because stuff you second guess get judged the hardest, and those judgments might be critiques to you that you need or want, and it might be in your benefit. It might be like, yo, you did a great job asking no questions. This was this. I did the interview people and they said, yo, the interview was great. That person asked them, ask questions though.
Yeah. Well, see, you say this, like, I'll say this is another thing that's hard, is it's the same thing with comedy too. It's like you ask someone, or if you ask for criticism, you're only going to get criticism what people want, right?
True.
Okay. I don't judge numbers. I'm not going to lie, I look at them. I want to see my progression. I want to see that people are reactive. Not about how many, more than it is there a reaction to this? Mm-hmm. Is this something that is working? And I say, your episode was the leading episode in views until my Albin interview. And not to say that it overpowers your episode or whatnot, because I still feel like your episode is still what's available to the public, the worst visually episode. It's just where I just started.
Yeah.
The next one will be tenfold. But in saying that, is like, even though I'm not comfortable, I didn't feel confident with every question I asked Brody Hammonds, I still see the result in the engagement. Maybe it's a lot because of him, but they all still looked at it longer. I still got the numbers showing me the reaction, and the reaction is different this time. So it's showing me that path. So it's still a struggle to learn what I'm supposed to learn to navigate that lane as well. Because that's difficult too when I see 30 on, or I go and post the Rocket and Slim episode that's coming out and their people give me the praise. Well, I'm only judging, I didn't get no subscribers. So this is only just something that could be here. So it's like, I'm trying to navigate. It's stressful.
That's why you gotta utilize all avenues, and you utilize people's audience. So
you think a lady's gonna come look at me watching some white folks get fucked up and bleeding everywhere? Well, the Instagram reel is gonna have to be about flowers and cupcakes and bacon. She's gonna have to teach me how to cook a cake.
That's sexist, but that's
I know that's a joke. That's a joke.
That's funny. I'm about to say that's funny, but what I would do if I'm you in that situation, I would take that part out, or I will leave it in, and you don't know. Let's see. Hell, she might react the best, and you don't know.
Well, I'm telling you what,
that's not only a male thing to get. Yeah. She might just be one of the women that like that kind of stuff. Like, oh, rewind that. You know, like rewind it.
Well, technically, I have to backtrack here. Technically, I have had a woman on. Technically, I've had Ratchet Hippie on with us. It was Slim. Not Slim. Rocket and Danny and Ratchet Hippie. So even she's the producer. She's the producer of Ready to Be Accountable. So she was involved with. She was involved in.
Shout out to you. She's cool.
Yeah, she's a great lady. Great lady. Fun time. It was a great time with all three of them. Her reactions are the best reactions I got. But I also judged that statement. I say off of that though. She only took, so her level of my level of humor is not as far. So I got to stop it.
But also you got to think about the fact that she is the producer, so she probably was in producer mindset. She's not always in the show, so she's trying. It's about them two, so she's probably trying to draw back a little bit. You can't be there.
She's definitely a professional. She definitely,
yeah. She's good people. I've seen her a few times. She does great work. But yeah, I would say, do what you do. But when you picking guests, you got to think about that. You were saying the engagement and people watch time and look at all your analytics. You look at all of them.
Yeah.
And when you see a guest, you got to look at all those things that quickly. So for me, I'm thinking about analytics. Of course, I'm like, dang, I could easily say, oh, damn, Tommy White, they ain't going to watch that because my audience is mainly black, right?
Yeah.
But also, the stuff we talking about, how you was talking, I know the audio going to be right. I'm giving them all things where it's no reason you could not want to watch it unless I just know who he is, I ain't going to watch it.
Yeah.
But once you press play, from the minute they press play, I can guarantee you it's engaging. I already know because of how we didn't waste no time. Ain't no wasted second, ain't no wasted questions here.
Yeah.
It's all interesting. And then you're going to have to want the backstory of that. So now they might say, well, maybe Jermaine asked about it later on in the podcast about this.
Yeah.
And I sure did. So it's just one of them things.
So, okay, let me ask you this then. What tips would you give me? Because the difference here is we're talking about an hour and a half conversation versus maybe 30 minutes
Almost 2 hours now.
to 45 though. And then I have my segments I'm transit. So I have other things I'm lined up in my full episode.
You might be doing too much, bro.
You think I'm doing too
You
much?
might be doing too much. If I'm gonna be honest with you, you might be doing too much.
But I want it fun. It just can't be all.
But you gotta have
serious.
fun people for that, because not every guest is a fun guest.
Yeah, them some of the comedians.
Now you saying,
Yeah.
and honestly, think about this. Think about doing an episode, and it's multiple people. What if one episode you do an interview with me? You did an interview with me. Boom. Okay. You bring Rocket to do your Instagram reactions. Boom. Then you this person do this. Boom. Boom. This episode featuring Maine, Rocket, such and such. It's perfect now because you got a good talk conversation. You got a funny excitement conversation. You got the joke conversation. Like it's all.
But then it's about upholding the consistency. If you only getting that option, look how aggravating of a white guy I'm gonna be hitting you, Slim, and everybody up to come over every weekend.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
I ain't say every week. I just said all like guests.
I already feel like the Badger and Cracker. Goddamn it! Come on.
Chill. But no, I was gonna say, like, even with the guests you pick, and then utilize Facebook a little bit. Like, you don't use that a lot for Facebook. Okay, well, on Mondays, y'all, I'm gonna drop the interviews on Mondays. Mondays is my day, but you gonna use Monday, whatever. On Facebook, cool, boom. On Wednesday, I'm gonna do my Instagram reactions.
Yeah.
Boom. On this day, I'm gonna do funny stuff. Boom. On Sunday, the whole thing come out.
That'd be a good
And
one
watch it in
too.
one.
Yeah.
It just, you gotta try different stuff so
that'd
you're
be
not
good.
compacting
I'm gonna write that
everything,
down.
you know,
Yeah, three-way
into
split.
one. Because think about this too. You look at the numbers, you say you don't care about them too much, but you looking and you watching them. Think about if you had me, and I'm talking about Muslim, not even Rocket Slim, Muslim, on the podcast, and we did different segments though. Now I'm watching it to see Slim's segment, Slim
Right.
watching to see my segment. I'm sharing it, Slim sharing it, he's sharing it. You got 3 people sharing it, you sharing it, then those people sharing it. So you got 9 sharing it because it's me on there. Then you got 9 people sharing it because Slim on this. Now you went from having 2 shares or 5 shares to having 27 shares just off the strength of the names you got on there. They ain't even watching it yet.
Yeah.
And then if they do watch it, they like it. Oh, this is funny. Or you dropped it on Wednesday. You dropped the one with me on Monday, whatever. Okay, do a little something. You got the one with Slim on Wednesday, the reaction stuff. Oh, that shit is funny. They sharing it. Now I give you more incentive to want to put that full episode. Like, oh, they like this. Okay, let me put this out. I might start off with this now. You know, it just, you got to try different stuff. Like, and it's not that's not working, but if you feel like you in a space right now where you can try any different thing and nobody's going to say nothing yet because you don't have no real like consistency with what you're putting out yet. It's still new and fresh.
And that's what I'm saying. So don't get me wrong. And I've had Brandon on, right? And I say this, it can change. Brandon don't got no kids, right? I would say his kid is his podcast. All right. In a sense, just what you put your most time into.
Yeah.
Well, I know you don't feel, I don't say you feel, I get the subjective view that maybe he feels a little lack thereof because 6 months is with the other guy. So I just dove into the gossip with him. There's hardly any good footage of Instagram, but the amount of bullshit I'm talking about, whatever that dude fat fuck's name was, I just ran him in the ground because you didn't consistently put the work in. Brandon, you did. And I like what you're doing and like promote it that way, right? But then if I go to the next person, I don't have that. So to me, I'm trying to figure out what I really want to do. And it's all different. I'm always trying to be engaging fun no matter which angle. And I'm going to either have a game or some sort of engaging thing for the guests to where we're not just, because if I do, like I want to have the therapist on like you've suggested once before, but I want to set that tone for the therapist to who I am. And that I want to relay in those segments, whether it be the dark humor, whether it be sneak attack or whatever Instagram reel or a game, or I want to set that tone off the rip and then ease into however I am talking about stuff. That's my approach. I think my social media will help views, but also, like I say, I don't try to take y'all's views. Like if yours is 61, Brandon Hammond's is 55, I'm just looking at, their platforms gave me a platform to reach some more people.
That's what it's all about every time.
Organically is all I'm trying to do.
Believe it or not, like think about how this right here, it came from me interviewing a guy with one arm as a comedian.
Yeah. Black the Handicap. Shout out to you. You going down Tuesday.
Black the Handicap. I didn't know him.
Yeah.
I took that on.
Cried on camera a little bit. No, I don't. I'm just playing.
I took that on as a favor for a manager, which I hate to do.
Yeah.
So I came in here with feeling like it was gonna be work.
Yeah.
Through that, even though I got a great episode through him, I love the episode. Boom, it was dope. But then also from there, I meet you. You reach out, boom, boom, you do some stuff here, you watch, you come through a few times, and now we built a rapport. So even if you think about the views, damn near views, I done built a rapport with somebody who want to be in a space anyway through that. If
Yeah.
that don't happen, this don't happen probably.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just one of them things where you don't know, damn the viewers, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know who's going to watch and say, yo, you got something. I like that. I want you to do this. You might be hosting a show next year just from doing this stuff you're doing. So you don't ever think about the views. You got to think of the bigger picture. It's views is one thing. Your content is one thing, but what opportunities is being out there for you? I host sometimes. I don't like doing clubs. I only go in clubs until I get paid.
Oh, I don't go to the club, period. So
they pay me, I'm gonna go because host is okay, bet.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I know I've been to some events around town. I think there are some great places to promote. I think it's a thing that is it's taken lightly what kind of events go down in Augusta. And I think it doesn't do some events justice just to put it on a Facebook flyer. That's one avenue I want to do as well as promotion. And it's just to wrap me up on that side is I might not go to the club, but when I step out to do networking and do these things, there are some great places that need recognition.
This is how you start. Every Tuesday and Thursday, you have an ad for somebody. Maybe you start with the people you know. What's gonna happen is keep doing it consistent, grow.
Yeah.
People are gonna start reaching out to you. I had people hit me up and said they paid me to post a flyer. I'm posting today. I forgot. Thank God I said something about it. They already got paid. Post a flyer.
Give him
tomorrow.
35% off. Take 35% back. He didn't. I'm just playing.
I should have charged him more. To be honest with you.
See, and that's you say that. Not even like I don't look at the money side of it yet. I don't even know how to judge that side of the game.
I don't either.
I just sit here and just like, yeah, I'll help you out because if you're helping me out, I'm gonna promote you the best way. I'm gonna give you my best.
The best thing to do is to build a team. If you build a team, you're pretty good. But a lot of times we don't build teams. Like right now, one thing I can say that's different about everybody is some podcasters get in this space and they got people they get to sit down and just go. They get to sit down and just go. That's it. We got to sit down. We got to make sure stuff is right during, middle, end.
Yep.
After we got to do the post editing process, the begin. So we there every single step of the process. It's a little harder when you're on that. So I have a thing where I'll call people lazy that I know don't record their own stuff, don't edit their own stuff if they're not consistent. How you not consistent?
And you don't do it.
And all you do is sit your ass down and talk.
It's a great point. I think that professionalism in all sides of what you're putting out is important. How your conversation goes, how you're putting out your quality, the social media, it's all allocated. And if you got other help with it, there's no reason why you aren't coming together with the team to make it the best version it can be.
My point exactly. And like if you're doing it by yourself, it's a little harder. Like even now, like so we getting up, I'm turning the camera off. I'm making sure. You see me. I know where everything is at. Like I know when it's 30 minutes gonna be up. I'm looking there. I'm gonna make
key
sure,
with the time.
Make sure it's focused. Make sure the sound right. Hitting the buttons right. You know what I'm saying? All of that.
Where the milk crickets at? Yeah, that is.
I wouldn't give you a womp at first, but you ain't saying a bad joke today. So.
No, I ain't made no joke.
Nah, you made a bad joke.
I'm working on relationship set, man. We're working on relationship sets this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to come on that one though.
I don't know when you're gonna close, but look, y'all got time. I know this ain't coming out yet, but y'all check out the comedy scene in Augusta. There's some great comedians. I know everybody knows EJ Rogers, and this damn video is going viral. Who? EJ Rogers.
Who's that? I'm fucking.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. This damn stinky ass song he had going on was funny as hell. It made my weekend. And y'all go check them out. Y'all check the comedy scene out. We trying our best to provide some great laughs.
Okay, that's what's up, man. You got a joke for us before you go ahead? No. I don't know how comedian. You know how when rappers come to me,
life's weird. Spit
a 16.
I'll tell you a
got
joke.
like a 5-bar joke or something.
Life's weird, man. I know that my daughter's gonna like black balls.
She's gonna like?
Oh yeah. I know it's okay with me. The bad part is I found out in the produce section that she referred to the black balls as plums. I'm in front of a bunch of Karens and Aldis, and I got to provide some sort of reserve, not to connect the dots while I'm teaching her about her boundaries of relation. Now, I don't look. The boy's name is Zay. I knew he was black. Just you ain't got to refer to the plums as make a visual image. It's a lot to take in.
Yeah, it was a lot to take in.
That's my worst day. Like, what if you walk in on that? Godzilla just coming in, just doosh. Can't do that. It's a bad day.
Ooh, I'm gonna play some good music for you.
Go ahead. That's your wah 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 right there.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's gonna hit this week, but we'll see if it does.
Yeah, we'll see.
The black balls works though. The black balls works. You laughed. It's one man. It works good when it's multiple people that are individuals laugh at it. It works. EJ tells me I got to get to it though. You can't let it go too long or it comes off kind of iffy.
When you saying these words and you talking about balls, it sounds so crazy.
It does though, but that's a real story. And it's a real comedic like response that I had with my daughter where I'm like, I ain't called her but a bitch but once or twice. But that moment in front of all these and Karens, I'd have been taken to DSS. They'd thought I was gonna beat my child.
I think you said it on Facebook one time too. I think you mentioned it on Facebook one time.
Yeah.
I
try to make it light so nobody takes it wrong.
Let me ask you a question before we get it. That's a good comedic question. How long does it take to like really perfect a joke?
Ooh.
Because that's obviously a joke you've been working on. I mean, I've seen you, and obviously you saying it right now. I know you tweeted because I remember reading it a couple of weeks back or whatever. How long does it take to like really make that joke funny?
I think it's not even done. I don't think it's perfected because I can't perform it in every crowd. And I think that to me, with my vulgarity and how, I don't like doing clean comedy. I had to do it for a set and it doesn't go great for me. But my worry is like, for instance, I did that black balls joke at Pedal Pubs one night in front of a majority older black crowd.
You just say balls joke.
Balls joke. Well, it's the
so
joke's what it's called. You know, it's what it's about. Black them black balls. Anyhow, the older folks did not have it. Like Brother Trav took me off stage and everything. And like, not like in a disrespectful way, but the joke just landed like the milk crickets.
Was it a white crowd?
No, it was an all black crowd. Majority older though. It wasn't like a thing or a promotion of what the comedians were doing. It was an open mic for whatever's going on at the event. And I just showed up.
Older crowd, like give me an age range.
I would say in the 50s. I would say like they're coming out for the night. It wasn't the weekend, it was the weekday, or it was like Thursday or Friday or something like that.
50s meaning they had to be born in the 70s.
I didn't walk them into it. You know what I mean? I just went in for it and it didn't work.
People born in though, you know, they got they draw their line with the whole interracial couple thing too.
Yeah.
So
you tell them your uncle fucking a goat and you kind of set the tone a real certain way. You know what I'm saying? So It's one of those things where like that moment taught me like, oh, I can't say whatever instead of in front of whatever crowd. I got to learn the crowd better.
Hey, you need to have a segment just called Moments where you talk about moments that taught you. You can start with the N-word story, but you should also get. You said no.
I don't mind talking about it, but it's not like, it doesn't vocalize it regularly. It's not important to me. There's so many other words I can use. I learned how to navigate past that scenario, and it doesn't affect me. I don't say it. Like I legit don't say it nowhere. My kids.
No, not that.
Oh.
I'm just saying. I'm saying moments as far as like that's a moment, but you on stage are also a moment where you realize, okay, man, it ain't always gotta be race driven. It could be a moment where you realize, oh shit, I can't do something this way.
Yeah.
It ain't got to be racial driven.
Okay, I got to be saying
a moment where, because those are funny to me. Like, it's not funny in real time, but it's funny.
The real story of the N-word's funny if you present it right. If you tell it in a joking way, it's just about, I've only said it on stage once and it didn't go bad, but that's an uncomfortable fucking thing.
The N-word or the story?
The story of the N-word. Like getting my ass beat and emphasizing my, self-deprecation or whatnot. You're knocking yourself down. Like I've done it once. But that's a hard thing to fucking repeat, bro. You talk about making the joke perfect. My character is supposed to get. They say when you hear professional comedians, 5 to 10 years you find your character. So I'm still looking for that individuality on stage.
You know, I think because of what you stand for now, and like the fact that you have been around the culture and black people, and you realize certain things and you got your own stuff you live by, I think it's kind of, I ain't saying hindering you, but I can feel that you aren't fully accepting like what that story can do for you.
Yeah, I agree.
I think
I reserve myself a little bit.
But the thing is, I'm gonna summarize it just as I can, right? You know, it's a white guy goes to prison, says this word that to him is just like whatever, you know what I'm saying? Gets his ass beat. Goes to solitary and kind of just get beat up here and there, slapped around, but also learns. It's like they kind of baptize you in a sense. Not hate to say it that way, but that's kind of what it is. Like it's like, I'm gonna give you a spanking first.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna teach you a lesson as we go along, and you learn. You kind of play that multiple ways to make it funny. You really can.
You don't even know the other side to it. Like, all right, so that story would be told in like a real story form set. So I need 10 minutes. I need 15 minutes on stage to feel comfortable making those punches. Because I didn't tell you about, I'll tell you now, that place in the hospital that I was in, learned about gangs. I learned why the sky's always blue. I can do a lot of gang signs and whatnot, right? I'm also in juvie. I also, a couple months later, a guy comes in above this dude who jumped me in, right? Finds out you can't do that. They beat his ass for beating me in. And I learned real quick from that aggressor that, hey, I ain't in no gang, bitch. I am not, this is not my lane. I'm staying the fuck out of this. I'm staying away, right? So like formulating all this in front of a crowd that's objective. Like you may know me a little bit. It's different. You have to have the body language. You got to have the facial. It all makes sense. And you want to be respectful. I don't ever want to come off. I might be vulgar or cross the line, but I don't ever want no woman to feel like I'd beat nobody. I don't ever want no man to think, I'm saying something about their ego. I don't want them to walk away feeling like they was attacked. It's just jokes, but you got to say the jokes right for them to work. And it's hard. I don't think I can say I have a finalized joke. And to answer it in the whole.
Comedy is hard, it seems like, because
you
so
pretty
much has
funny too,
changed.
motherfucker. You act like you ain't. You take some of your one-liners off here. Well, I'll put you on a 5-minute set right now.
Nah,
We can go.
I ain't never said I wasn't funny. I'm
funny.
I'm not. I'm about as funny as they come. Be honest, with you. I just.
Them subliminal shits be hilarious to me.
That's just me.
I know.
I'm even in real life, people tell you like, I'm funny as hell. I ain't funny, but it's just a pastime. It ain't nothing. I can't. It's nothing to make work. Now, would I play in a movie and be funny? Yeah, I do that.
Come on,
stand up. No, because I respect comedy too much, and I feel like you got to put a lot. And it would be like somebody just thinking they should do a podcast because they got a microphone. You can't just put a mic in my hand and I'm just gonna make the crowd laugh. Now I can do some stuff here and there, but you gotta get rid of the stage fright, the lights, all that stuff.
Okay, but you can't tell me you don't. You have the experience to navigate a crowd. And
somewhat.
I'll say this. If you were to prepare of like what you get reactions about what's funny, not about what you think funny. If you can really like study what people think's funny, for a fact, you can get on and do 5 minutes. Just because I know your character's already, and I've seen you back and forth with EJ. I've seen, how you respond online and how quick and witty you are with it. And it's plus you from up north. That's always a plus because that's that back and forth banter shit that guys do.
It's a plus in any life. Hey, remember that.
Hey, well, I don't know. I went up there. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, yes, you should.
I went to live it one weekend, but it was great. It was amazing.
Best weekend of your life.
You should though. You should try it. I think it's a good challenge. It's just overcoming it.
You all need extra money.
You telling me you wouldn't have a podcast in front of a crowd if they paid you?
Yeah, I'm trying to do that.
Yeah.
I need to give some people. I need to get some good folks that are icons something to set something up one weekend. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see. I'm
you
gonna
let
try
me know.
It
I'll pitch in however I can help.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it for real. I'll try it.
Yeah.
I would do that. I wouldn't know on that.
I think you have a lot more. I don't know. That's the hard thing about talking with you guys is how do I navigate the relationship where I'm impactful and I'm helpful? You know what I mean? That's another struggle I have with trying to learn. I don't want it to be a one-sided
just
thing.
Being real.
Yeah.
But like you said, you thinking that because you are asking questions for information that we're not learning. Sometimes me giving you the answers also me learning because I might not know the answer. But I might know I can find it. And I go find that we both know the answer.
Yeah.
So impact ain't always just based off what you can do. It's just what you bring, like what value you bring. And you bring a lot of knowledge because you need a lot of knowledge. So
yeah, with GD, you need a lot of knowledge. You can't live in life if you don't have no knowledge.
But you got your bachelor's and everything else, so you good to go.
I watched a retard online the other day on YouTube.
A what?
Well, he had a brain injury, so he turned into a retard. But even he passed the ASVAB to get in the military. I didn't. I went 6 times to Atlanta and failed every single time. And all you got to make is a 50, bro. A 50.
You might just not be. You might be a person who doesn't take tests well.
I don't do words well. It's not. That's another bad thing about comedy too. Is like when you say this, is like with the narration and everything we're talking about here. I get sentimental or what is it? Insecure about my language and how I talk and how it's. Sometimes it may not mean the same thing when it comes out that I'm projecting it to mean because of my minimal amount of words.
Yeah, your vocabulary isn't extensive.
Every day I get a new word, still don't remember it. That fucking discipline I got fucked me up, bro.
That fucked you up. Yeah,
it did. It really. I know it did.
You're confusing words now.
It takes me 4 times reading a book. That's like for Father's Day, I'm gonna get my wife to get Charlemagne's new book, right? And I know I'm gonna have to look forward to reading it at least 2 times, front to back. I have to.
Wow.
Or I won't understand it. I can't. I won't. Yo, it took me 6 months to read the Quran, and I still got like I think maybe an 1/8 left. So it's just, man, I'm stupid.
Have you ever read out loud? Can you read out loud?
Bro, what the fuck? No, you want to hear that nonsense? I
do actually.
I sound like the Twin Towers being bombed.
Can I give you a book and you read it?
It would be hard. Yeah, it's
no.
not.
I'm not
I'll
gonna
do
do
it. I'll
that.
try
I'm
for you. I ain't embarrassed.
I'm
I mean,
not-
I ain't. I just know it's a limiter. It does. You know, you have to accept what your limits are. I don't mind it. Let's see what we got.
Let's see what kind of
It
book
says
I got
style and
here.
design.
Yeah, this is perfect.
It can't have cursive.
No, it ain't cursive.
All right, because I can't read
You can
cursive.
read this right here. It says an empty room. Let's try that.
An empty room is a story waiting to happen, and you're the author. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what
Yeah.
you're saying.
Now look, if
Let me try that.
the crazy thing is, I support a brand that writes in cursive, but I couldn't read it for the longest.
An empty room is a story waiting to happen.
See what I'm
and
saying?
you're the author.
Look at that.
It's a little
smoothness.
different. Yeah, it's a
That's
little
way different.
Yeah.
The your, I have to consider the A has an N and it's not an A, and I have to consider and stop at the your and make sure it's not you are.
Yeah, it was yours.
Yeah, but I don't. I have to slow down for all that. I still say Pacific. I don't say specific if I don't slow down. I
yeah.
can say it. I just have to think about it. You know what I mean?
I should have gave you a real book, but it's fine. Hey, look, man.
It's all right. I don't mind being dumb. I can still work. I ain't handicapped.
All right, man. There we go. This was Tommy Archer. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you for coming through.
Hey, man.
You know what I'm
Always a
saying?
pleasure, my
Thank you for
man.
wearing the sweatshirt.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Y'all hit him up for one. Let him know he's wanted out here, man.
Hey, man. I tried. Man.
Tell him to get some hats made. Tell him to get something. Tell him to put some more merch out. I want some more.
See, I miss the days where I've gotten a little lazy, but I do so much now. It's kind of hard to really navigate that. But I'm gonna try to get back on. I gotta get somebody that can just do it for me. Maybe my daughter, she getting older in age. I can probably have her take the orders or something like that. Who knows? But yeah, this was a dope conversation, man. I definitely enjoyed it. It's something new I wanted to do, so I got something to put out probably ASAP. You might see it out tonight for all no. I don't know how I'm gonna do it yet, but
Fair game for me.
yeah, man. Definitely thank you for the conversation. Definitely. Get to get a deeper understanding of you. I hope that you can use this episode as a reference to it's my moment to come on. This is about me. This is who I am. Blah blah. You go from there, but that'll help a lot too. And then hopefully it helps you with when you go doing your own thing, your own platform, and things you can speak about and things you can flip and tell your own stories and stuff like that. But yeah, I definitely want you to understand like this podcast, and it's just one of them things where if you're really passionate about it and you like doing what you do, you have episodes like these where it's just like it just comes natural. But also, I don't look for the name always. Don't look for who got the best name, who got the best story,
Yeah.
who got the best speech, who
Who's
got the
engaging
best.
the most?
Sometimes that can be hard because it depends on how you look at engaging. You're looking at engagements or you're looking at engaging
Conversation. Yeah.
and that's dope.
That's the
Yeah.
important. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would look at that when you go to the comedy specials and these events. Sometimes the person that you need to interview is in the crowd, not on stage.
That's what.
Sometimes that's how it goes.
We're gonna get to work, man. We're gonna get to work. We're gonna keep working.
Definitely, man. So yeah, tell me where they can find you at again, man. You
Yeah.
got the tattoos on your leg. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
no, none of this ain't nothing. But y'all go check me out, man. Palette Podcast with Tommy Archer on YouTube, the Archer Gang 13 on Instagram, and Tommy Archer on Facebook. I also have Palette Productions on Facebook. Y'all just hit me up, reach out. Questions, comments, concerns about the podcast. I'd love for more feedback and telling me stories. Tell me something you want to know. Tell me something you would like to be told about or talked about. Any input's good input in my mind. Might not use it, but hey.
Pause.
Hey, what you mean? Diddy ain't here right now?
That was insane. Bro.
Can't never could till you tried. That's what Diddy said right there before he put it in his eyes. You know what I'm saying?
That was crazy. Yo, Morning Masters Podcast, we out on that note, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good ending.